Blackline Brief starts now.
What is up, everybody? Right when I was going live, this stinking monitor over here decided to freeze on me. I was like, what am I doing? Oh my gosh, I couldn't get it going. Woo! How are you guys doing today? What is up, everybody? What is it? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another episode of the Blackline Brief. I'm your host, Matthew McKim, and we got a good show for you guys today. So as you guys come in, please do me a favor and hit the like and the subscribe as you guys come in and get settled. It's one of the best ways you can freely help support this channel, and always check to make sure you're subscribed. YouTube does funny things, and I found out that a lot of the viewers each month are not subscribers, and I don't know why. Be praying for me. It feels like I'm coming down with a cold. I got some my lozenges here, and I don't know. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. Might have to take tomorrow night off because I want to be fresh for Thursday. Thursday, we have Stu Peters and Matthew Tuzzaroni coming on, locked in for 7:30 p.m. on Thursday. So I want to make sure I'm good to go for that. And then thinking about doing, I don't know, like a live watch party together of the debate with Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens. I don't know what time it's going to be, though. I didn't see what time. I know that it's happening and that Patrick Bet David is going to be the moderator, but I'm not sure what time it is. So we'll see, depending on the day. Yeah, hi to everybody. Made you think, Moxbox, all the mods. Thank you guys for being here. Vasiliki. Who else is here? Punish with Truth. Anyone I didn't mention, I'm sorry. It's moving. Angie. There you go. Tiffanator. All right, you guys. Good to see you guys. One of the things that I have come to really appreciate is this is like, I don't mean to sound like Erica. I'm not going to. This is like an extended family. You know, I look forward to seeing you guys here and hearing you guys in X Spaces and getting to know you guys more through each time we interact. And it's become a really solid and positive community and part of my day that even though I don't feel good, I'm like, I'm not going to miss this. I like being here. It's something I look forward to each day. So love you guys. Thank you guys for all the support. Okay. All right. So today I need to refresh this thing before I pull it up. So today I want to look at garlic. What is that? Garlic clove whole before bed. I'm screaming. Okay. So wait. Like I eat a whole garlic. Like I eat it before bed. My wife will kill me. One of the things that I used to do, because I was a Boy Scout. I did it for a very long time. I grew up camping. One of the things that we did camping was you take full garlic, you put it in tinfoil, and you throw it on the fire. And then it slowly bakes it. And we've also done this in the oven. And then it turns the garlic to butter. And you just pop it out and you eat it. Am I allowed to do that? Can I eat it that way? It's warm. It relieves gas. Chew it up. Will it relieve this freaking horse in my throat? Holy smokes. Zinc and C. Yeah, what is this? My wife got me Zicam. I need to take one. I got a cough drop in, but she's like, make sure to take 2 tablets before you go live. I have the best wife. I know everyone probably says that, but I'm the only one that's correct when I say it. She's the best. All right. Not trying to make a slow start to this, you guys. I'm really not. All right. Do you guys like the mic flag? My wife got this for me. Yeah. It fits perfect. Hold on. I think. Yeah, it fits. I had to do something different with the mic though in order to make it to where you guys can see it. So hopefully you guys like the mic flag. It's pretty cool. Local honey, but don't heat it. Drizzle over the roasted garlic once cooled a bit. Okay. Look at you guys. Black seed oil. It cures all. I like it. All right, babe. I know my wife is watching. Can you write these things down for me? All of these recommendations. We got garlic, cayenne, ginger, and honey in warm water every few hours. All right. I tried to drink some. My wife made me lemon tea and or well, no, just like lemon honey water. Heat, yeah, hot tea without the tea bag, just like the honey and the lemon. And I tried to drink it as much as I could. A warm whiskey or salt gargle. I'll do the salt gargle because I've been sober since 2016, 18, when we lived in Pasadena. 18. Yeah. Your choice. Swallow the raw garlic whole. Wait, what? Like a pill? Like I have to swallow the whole garlic like a pill? I can't chew it. It must be raw. Okay. Use some bread. Whole though. I'm going to put it in bread and swallow the bread and the garlic whole. That's a big thing to swallow. Or do you mean like stuff it raw in the bread and chew it up? It can't be cooked. That's what you're saying. It cannot be cooked. Okay. All right. Vassy, looking out for me. All right, you guys. I do have a lot of good things that we're going to look at today. All right. And it's like, where do I start? We're just going to start with Candace Owens. And you know what? We all need to stick together. There is a concerted effort to divide the country, to divide us on the right. And it's not because of Tucker, Candace, Barron, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Joe Kent, Thomas Massey. It's not because of all the people that are true America Firsters, true MAGA. That's not who's dividing the right. We've noticed, we're just being honest, that Trump and this administration has completely lied to us. He sold us a bad bill of goods. A bad bill of goods. Said he promised the moon and delivered us death. What is that saying? Give me liberty or give me death. He said, liberty's not for sale, but death is on the table. So, yeah, maybe I won't, vote for the megalomaniacs, stepchild JD Vance, Yeah. So we need to stick together. We need to become as united as possible because it feels like we're preceding something major. I don't know what it is. I can feel it. I even feel like the spiritual warfare ramping up. I'm not the only one. So many people in this community have felt it themselves. There's like this anticipation, this anxiety that's building of something. I can't put my finger on it. I just have this really, really like deep knowing that something's coming. It's not an accident that Trump lost when he did, so he could be reelected when he did, so he could be in office right now, these 4 years. It's pivotal that it was happening right now. They needed more time to get the plan ready. They needed Biden to play his role and Kamala. It's all the same, left and right. It's just one party. They're all backed by the same people. The goals are the same in the end. The approach is a little different. When the left is in the administration, they pass things that are, in keeping with leftist ideals and values. Makes sense. Still pushes us in the direction of totalitarian, authoritarian control, police state. Just they're doing their part. And then the pendulum swings to the other side. We just were so sadly mistaken that Trump and JD, Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, and what's his name? Pete Hegseth. We really believed that they were going to do something different this time. We all did, though. Don't consider yourself stupid and a fool if you believed it. The majority of us did. Even Joe Kent, JT Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson, they all believed it. They knew them and had proximity and personal relationship with them more than me, more than us. And they believed him. So don't fault yourself. It's like the biggest bait and switch politically that's happened in, I don't know, since I've been alive. But no room for fear here. Yeah, no fear. No fear. No. God's in control, right? What we need to be doing daily, you need to be in prayer. You need to be in the word. You could even be fasting. It depends if you have medical issues. I mean, consult your physician if you can handle fasting. You can even fast from certain things, specific things. It doesn't have to be a total, food fast. It could be other things. It's about denying the flesh, sacrificing something to gain something spiritually. That's the concept and principle behind fasting. All right. So we need to not be forsaking gathering together in the body of Christ, praying for one another, helping build one another up. Iron sharpens iron. They would like us to feel more, isolated and separated. We're not going to let that happen. And so no fear here. We have, a peace that surpasses all understanding because we know who wins, right? We know who wins. We know who's ultimately in control, and that's Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. All right, you guys, let's freaking go. Candace Owens.
To Village Crazy Lady, who said, yeah, that's not Tyler Robinson, clearly. And he responded and said, I agree. The person in this picture does not look like Tyler Robinson at Village Crazy Lady. But do you not understand that you are sharing what appears to be an AI-enhanced photo from the original video evidence? Do you not bother to do 5 minutes of research before sharing this information? I put together this very clear comparison so that you can understand what you just did. He has no evidence. He's Mr. Where's the evidence?
Sorry, I'm turning that off so I don't chew my cough drop or my Zycom into the mic. And I don't cough in the mic. I have a much clearer picture that we can look at. Oh, I love that you guys are giving me tips on how to feel better. So even though I know we voted and we're like, hey, we're going to do them at the end, I'll just get some of these right now because you guys are taking the time, energy, and money to tell me how I can protect my voice and my health. And I want to read it, and I thank you guys. Crush about 10 cloves of garlic and add a tablespoon of cayenne and a couple tablespoons of honey, all in a jar, all to a jar. Okay. Eat a tablespoon every hour or two and let it sit in the back of your throat a bit before swallowing. I'm going to do it. My wife is watching. Sweetie, write this down. Thank you. All right. I'm going to hop over to X where I have a better picture of this comparison. Okay. So this is, oh my gosh, it's so small. That's so ridiculous. Is that better, guys? All right. So this is clearly not Tyler Robinson. Say what you will. It's not Tyler Robinson. All right. This guy's bigger. His legs are thicker. His arms are thicker. He's got a broader head. Also, there's Tyler Robinson. Not even close. Not even close, right? So, I mean, what it much more looks like is, Lance Twiggs. Look at the thickness of the legs, the pants. I wish we could see his feet and how it fits on his feet. Honestly, I don't even know if this dude on the left is Lance Twiggs. It doesn't look like the same guy that was in the courtroom doing that Zoom interview. Okay. I feel like they've given us like 7 different Lance Twiggses. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, this one's pretty clear. So this is the other thing that I want to point out to you guys. All of the photos and videos that they showed us in court and then they were playing for us in the early stages of the investigation were, what is it called? Candace said it. They are compressed. They're compressed, which is why the one on the left, the guy seems closer. The guy seems clearer. The guy seems more real. The guy on the right, he seems further away. He seems skinnier, more narrow. It's not a different photo. It's the same photo. One's not compressed. One's compressed. I believe they probably did that with every single video and photo that they've put up for us from the very beginning. Because boy, oh boy, does that make it hard to identify someone. They didn't want us to identify the real person. No. That would be dangerous. In my opinion, it's because they know that's not Tyler Robinson. Giving us a clear image of the person would make us go, that's not Tyler Robinson. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Willis? That's not Tyler. Also, they needed to compress these to make them look like a thinner, skinnier person, right? Because then, like, can you imagine if the non-compressed video came out and then the Fed said, yeah, his parents ID'd him off of this one on the left. And it's like, no, this guy's much bigger than Tyler. Here, this guy looks skinny. Yeah. And gangly and tall. This guy's broader. He's got a thicker waist. And it's like, his parents would not have ID'd him. Well, they didn't ID him anyway, but the Feds and the official, in the beginning of the investigation, they wouldn't have been able to convince us that the parents identified him from these, videos. So, wait, I got to pull this off while I look up the next one, because I can't remember if it has any of the graphic photos in here. It doesn't, but there's another one I wanted to show. This is a side-by-side together, and then that gives you a real comparison. Not even close. Not even close. Okay. And then let's see. Where? Yeah, here we go. This is another great one, right? So we're going to look at what the non-compressed videos, photos look like. And then we're going to look at what the compressed ones look like. I'm going to make it big for you guys so it's easier for you to see. All right. Non-compressed. Look at the cars in the background. They look normal. Okay. This one's compressed. Okay. Look at the cars. The windows are smaller. The front ends are smaller. It almost looks like they're toy cars. They don't look real. Look how thin the guy looks all of a sudden. It doesn't look the same. Okay. There. That's not Tyler Robinson, right? Okay, this one is not compressed. That's the hat. And this is not how tall that hat is on his head, right? Like, where is that photo of him? See? The hat fits perfectly. It pulls down. I used to have this Hurley hat. It's got an elastic band, and you like pull it all the way down, and it's snug to your head. That's how he wore it. Okay. And then he would just put his glasses on, and they would go over the hat on the side. That's not how the other person's wearing them. You could see the glasses, and then he puts the hat on, and it's like the glasses and then the hat, and it's like pointed up. It's not the same person. And they want to gaslight us all and make us feel like we're crazy. So here, you see the difference between the compressed photo, non-compressed photo. Far away makes them look skinnier, thinner, and then non-compressed. And it's like, dude, that guy's pretty bulky. Look at the cars. Look at the front end of the cars. They look like a Tonka truck. It looks like a toy.
You abuse community notes. I noticed that your words are very specific here. Quote, not enhanced using AI technology. Let's be clear, Candace. Was the original altered in any form whatsoever? You don't get to squeeze out on a technicality. So I replied to her. I said, yeah, let's be clear, Mel. We didn't alter it in any way. We didn't use a hammer, a screwdriver on a rooftop. We didn't use AI tools. We didn't use anything to alter, enhance, edit, or change the photo that we shared. No one's trying to squeeze out on a technicality. Okay? Sorry to tell you that, Mel. But we reached peak cope on the internet with a tweet from this user who claims that he's got evidence that we hired or colluded with another internet investigator who's been actually on the ground doing a lot of work, diligent denizen, interviewing people regarding the assassination. And we somehow colluded, and that's actually him. It's totally fake. It's a reenactment, a recreation of the moment. I know it's very confusing. I don't know how to explain it to you. I'll just read his tweet.
I don't think it's him, but it does look like him. I could see why they jumped on that bandwagon like so quickly, but I don't think it's him.
Left is the uncompressed photo.
Yeah.
On the right is what we were shown in the courtroom.
Yep. Liars.
I am so sorry to everyone who's going to crash out right now. He looks a lot thicker. Can we pull that back up? Let's just observe. He
does. He looks like the actual Lance Twiggs, right?
Why did you want us to think that person was thinner? Did you want us to think that person was thinner? I shouldn't assign, like I said, motive.
Oh, don't worry. Blake Neff did a tweet. He assigned himself motive.
It's to death. Like I said, we should be clear on that. They are calling for the death of a would-be innocent man.
Yeah.
Supposed to be assumed innocent. They don't have that assumption. So I thought surely they would comment on these photos. We know Blake watches this show every day. I'm a part of his routine. I thought surely they would come out and say, wow, we are deeply upset to learn that the court footage was so compressed. And now we do have some questions. Maybe they'd reach out to me. But nothing. Could you imagine Blake Neff quiet after an episode of our show? It's unimaginable. He was. They completely ignored the photos. Why? I think because not even they were willing to venture toward that deep of an absurd attempt to tell people not to believe their own eyes, right? We presented evidence that a seemingly left-handed individual with a bit more weight on him, someone who does not at first glance look like Tyler Robinson.
All right. I had to find, oh my goodness. I had to find the one that I wanted to find. So in response to this documentary that came out, right? And this is Jimmy Dore, by the way. If you guys don't know who Jimmy Dore is, he's a comedian, but he also, he's been on Tucker Carlson. He's had Baron Coleman on. He's thrown his hat in the ring on helping out in the investigation of who actually killed Charlie Kirk, right? But here, Blake Neff writes, as he reposts this Who Killed Charlie Kirk, how conspiracy theories sparked a MAGA civil war, and they have Candace Owens. How is that not defamation, right? I guess because it's not making a claim, it's asking a question. What a technicality. Tyler Robinson's arrest might have united a MAGA movement that had been tearing itself apart over the Einstein files and the war in Gaza. Interesting. So he does admit that the Einstein files and the war in Gaza before Charlie's assassination was creating rifts. It was creating waves and issues within America First and MAGA before his death, before his murder. And what was his stance on Gaza? What was that? Wait, what were the words? He said, hold on. I gotta be careful how I say this. And I'll just get into my best Charlie Kirk. you know, Netanyahu has a mandate to ethnically cleanse Gaza. They're going to ethnically cleanse Gaza. What was it that he said with Megan and Tucker backstage regarding Jeffy Epi? Go max on Jeffy Epi. The fact that he is clearly an asset of intelligence, both foreign and domestic, CIA and Mossad, was running blackmail operations here in the United States on politicians, like politicians that lie and say they're going to promise the world and deliver death instead. Huh. Yeah, that could explain something. It could explain why they haven't released a lot of names and a lot of compromat material, because it loses its power. You can't blackmail someone if all the information gets released to the public. Then it just becomes, for public consumption. And now we're aware and now we're awake. Not that we're not, but then it's like all of our suspicions would be confirmed. They had to ensure that Jeffy Epi pretended, faked, that he went to sleep. They snuck him out. He's in Israel, like 100%. Dude is not dead. Dude, that guy did so much for that country and this country. That guy's not dead. Give me a break. Okay. He's in Israel. And they rewarded him with complete freedom. When you are declared dead, you don't exist. You don't exist. Yes, that's its own kind of prison. But when you live the kind of life that he was already living, that you're so far removed from the general public, your life is insulated by private drivers, private pilots, security teams. You're not really engaging with everyday civilians anyway. It's just your secret elite circles behind massive estates, massive gates on private islands that none of us get past anyway. And I bet it's a running joke. What up, dude? Yeah, they still think you're dead. Yeah, good to see you. You're looking good for a dead guy. How'd you do it? Death is looking pretty good for you. You're wearing death really well. Guarantee you they joke and mock us while they have their cocktail parties and continue to engage in debauchery and evil. Blake Neff is now out here saying that a motive of taking Charlie Kirk out was to unite the right that was divided before his death and murder because of the war in Gaza, because of Jeffy Epi, and we all know because of Israel and Iran. Okay? I don't know why he didn't put that on the list. If you're going to come out and try to be honest, Blake, tell us that you guys had thought of this motive before he was murdered. I mean, you might as well just go all the way, buddy. I guess every good lie is laced with just enough truth, but not all the truth, right? Yeah. So,
the used car salesman, the backstabber, and the betrayer of Charlie Kirk and everything he stood for, just outed himself because he made this. You're not going to believe this tweet. Yeah, are you ready for this? This is real.
I believe you.
So Tyler Robinson's arrest might have united a MAGA movement that had been tearing itself apart over the Epstein files and the war in Gaza.
Huh.
It might have provided a common enemy, a focus on the lefty posters. I think he means posers.
Yeah.
The lefty posers who were joking about Kirk's death, or Antifa, that the Trump administration had blamed for Kirk's murder. It might have, it not for Candace Owens. So he's quoting.
Yeah, if not for Candace Owens, right? Let's listen to. Wait, where is that? I think it's right Oh wait, yeah. Let's hear this part.
I gotta tell you, she didn't. I gotta be honest. She hasn't called me yet.
No, we
Now,
know that.
To be fair, Erica never needed to see anything. She was convinced of Tyler Robinson's guilt before it was cool, right?
Right away.
Before she saw any footage at all. Remember
Right away.
this?
Do you believe that Tyler Robinson murdered your husband?
Yes,
Yes,
I
I
do.
do.
Oh, I love that. The confidence, the sale, unblinking, unflinchingly. Yes, I do.
Gross.
Yes, I do. Also, no mention of the footage of the stills on the Beavis and Butthead show.
I liked that. That was funny. All right, let's go here. I guess I need to just remind everyone, what was one of the narratives being hoisted upon us during the Barry Weiss interview? There was many, right? So Hunter Kozak is there. He tries to get Erica to denounce Trump for like inciting violence and hate. She does the weird. We watched that the other night. We looked at her response. It was so weird. It was so evil. It was like a demon. Also, remember, Charlie was being called an anti-Semite up until the very day he was murdered. He said, when people call non-anti-Semites anti-Semites for simply questioning a corrupt regime in Israel, this government, this country, not the people, it cheapens the name and the meaning of actual anti-Semites that are true. And he did say this, that kind of thought is brain rot. When you paint with a broad brush and you say they're all bad. I agree. They're not. The majority aren't. Just like the majority of Americans aren't bad. We just have a lot of crazy ruling elites that are insane, power hungry, you know? And it's the same way pretty much in every country. And we're told to hate the country when really we should be looking at the leaders that have been running it for however long. They go out and push this whole narrative about, you know, anti-Semitism. They bring this gentleman on that's Jewish and his daughter who was brutally murdered and horrible, and then asks her to condemn anti-Semitism. She doesn't say anything. And it's Barry Weiss, by the way. Charlie would never have gone on this show. He for sure would never have gone on this show that soon. Like if he hadn't been assassinated and he was alive based on the week of September 1st, like that first week, everything that he had been experiencing up until the 10th, what he did with Megyn Kelly, what he did with Ben Shapiro, he would not have gone on. I doubt he would have gone on anyway, but he definitely wouldn't have gone on after. And if he was ever asked this question by any kind of liberal reporter, his answer wouldn't be what Erica's was. Erica partners with the very people that attacked and that were at war with Charlie. Why? Literally every decision, every partnership, every network that she's made after his death is counter to what Charlie stood for, died for, lived for, all the way up until the day he was murdered. That is just one of the main, like not main, but it's one of the reasons why we are so suspicious of her. That's not even adding in her forgiving Tyler, saying that she believes Tyler did it. She's confident. She's seen the evidence, like all the lies, Superman neck, the bad alibi picture, all of it. Let's go.
Left, including here in New York City, where the mayor-elect still will not condemn the phrase, globalize the infantata. What I want you to address is growing anti-Semitism on the right, including Holocaust denial, anti-Zionism, and the normalizing of centuries-old conspiracy theories about Jews.
So if you're anti-Zionist, then you're an anti-Semite. There you go. He just said it. Look at her face. This is evil. She's agreeing with him. She's like, this is so evil. People denying, people questioning, people not supporting a foreign country, people being labeled anti-Semites when they're not, like my husband, like Candace, like Tucker, like Megan. If Dave Smith wasn't Jewish, you know they'd be labeling him an anti-Semite too, right? He says the exact same things everyone else says, but he's Jewish, so they can't call him an anti-Semite.
You here condemn the individuals spreading that hate and speak out clearly enough against anti-Semitism so we can prevent another tragedy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I'm so sorry.
So sorry.
You and I are a part of a very small club.
What is wrong with this woman? When she says we're part of a small club, who told her to use that word? She's talking about being surviving family members to someone that was brutally murdered. It's not a club. We're part of a small group of humans that have lost someone to a tragic, brutal, murder. It's not a club. Those are her words. She either chooses her words perfectly because she wants to come off like this. Someone's feeding her words and she's too dumb to think like, that's not going to sound good. Or she has no idea what she's doing.
Painful. But you're in good company and I will pray for you. It sucks, doesn't it?
So insane. How many takes do you think they did? You think this was the first take? You think this was take one? I don't think it was take one. It wasn't live, remember? Pre-recorded, scripted, produced. This is a production. It's not genuine. It's not real. Okay, it's basically a show.
Hate is hate. It's evil.
Yeah.
Charlie and I have always been very clear on our stance.
Yeah.
Israel, Jewish people.
Yeah.
It's awful.
What is it? Brain rot.
Awful. Anti-Semitism is what healing factor comes out of hating Jewish people? What healing factor comes out of hating Christians? What healing factor comes out? Hate in general. Nothing.
Whoever said that there was a healing factor, why did you compare those two things? Why did you imply that like someone has inferred that there is a healing factor to hate? Also, can you or this gentleman define anti-Semitism for me? I think we need a working definition. We need to define terms before we go forward. Because if you recall, Charlie was being labeled an anti-Semite. Elon Musk. So can you help us understand what you think it is? Because then we might understand what you're talking about right now.
Nothing. Charlie always would say very clearly, Jew hate was brain rot. He would always say it.
Notice that he didn't say anti-Semitism is brain rot. Jew hate, right? He distinguished it, right? Because he's being labeled an anti-Semite, and he's not. Candace is not. Neither is Tucker. Neither is Joe Kent. None of them. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey. So yeah, the necessary, illogical, just hating of any group of people just because they're that group of people is brain rot. It's not good.
We've been to Israel twice together. And to be able to walk in the place where our Lord walked.
Oh, look at this face. Oh my gosh. And she's going to say that famous statement, right? To see the Bible come to life like in Technicolor. Technicolor.
and see the Bible come to life in Technicolor.
This guy's like, ma'am, I'm Jewish. I don't believe what you believe. Do you not know, like, we believe we killed him because he was a hypocrite and he was, a blasphemer. So I think you're missing the mark there, sweetie.
Is this piece. And just to give everybody a background on who she is. Shortly after Charlie died, this journalist contacted me, and it made me physically sick because I knew exactly who she was because she was so vicious and fundamentally dishonest. It was Charlie and I were very green. We were excited that somebody in the press, I think she at the time.
Yeah. So Erica allows this lady to come in. They drudge up one statement of Charlie's from like when. Let's see. Okay, that's not where it comes out. Let's see. Let me go. All right.
To her. I'm really proud of it. Take a listen.
I first met Candace Owens in 2018.
Okay, so first, I really appreciate you taking this time. I know that this was like...
started out in a Twitter battle.
I'd come to Stanford University to see her speak with Charlie Kirk. Kirk was just 24 years old then. He'd worked social media on Trump's 2016 campaign and was back to building Turning Point USA, the group he'd started 4 years earlier to fight the left on college campuses and to recruit young Republicans.
If you're asking me, do I think the Black community has been crippled economically? The answer would be yes, it has been crippled.
I want to know how she got this clip. They've scrubbed these clips. All right. Well, this might be one of the small clips. Is this on? It doesn't say TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. This Hawaii event is scrubbed. There's no full video. There's like 3 different videos. They're like 5, 4, 5.
Economically by Democrat policies.
Kirk was crisscrossing the country, owning the libs, and building a digital enterprise on the back of its college debate tapes.
What have I ever said that's racist? Name one thing.
We've enabled people to
name one
about racism, and by enabling people and giving them a platform.
Like who? Like Candace Owens?
Exactly.
Oh, Candace Owens is a racist.
Kirk had just hired Candace, technically as Turning Point's director of urban engagement, then promoted to communications manager. But
I mean, if you guys saw it, so like long story short, she just poops on Candace and acts like Charlie actually liked this lady. And like you can drudge up any clip of someone saying something positive a long time ago. Oh, so Brandy does say Charlie Kirk trafficked in conspiracy theories and death. He became the main character in the ultimate one, spun by the White House. Huh. Doesn't sound like
After Charlie's death. This is just 6 days after Charlie died. To give you an idea of who this woman is, she published Charlie Kirk trafficked in conspiracy theories. In death, he became the main character in the ultimate one, spun by the White House. It's a tactic I imagine Kirk would have approved of.
Dang.
Snarky, mean, soulless.
Yep.
And he had.
And Erica Kirk said, come on in. Come on in. Turning Point USA spent the pandemic floating public health guidelines, sowing distrust in the election, and bringing the so-called culture wars around CRT, critical race theory, and LGBTQ issues off campus and into the mainstream. What did it get them? A buttload of money. Oh, okay. Yeah. Spent weeks talking to doctors who treat trans kids and vulnerable group of small people at ever more risk. Yeah, the most of the reporting will never see day. Wait, what? Most of the reporting will never see day because people are afraid, right? So that's the connection that she's on the very same side of the official FedSlop narrative of who they're saying is responsible for killing Charlie, right? And Erica said, come on in. Come on in. Hang out with me. Yep. Pretty gross. Erica Kirk. Yeah, I watched it so you don't have to. Here's the short version. If you still have questions, you are the problem. According to the film, you're a grifter, a conspiracy theorist, a cash-in artist, or someone unfortunate enough to be adjacent to a kombucha brewer, a Kremlin-loving model, or a far-right lawyer. So that is, wait, who's a kombucha brewer? Oh, that's Ian Carroll. Okay. A Kremlin-loving model, so that'd be Candace Owens. and a far-right lawyer, that'd be Baron Coleman, right? Did I get it? Now you might reasonably assume that a film called Who Killed Charlie Kirk would spend a considerable amount of time examining the unresolved questions that have caused millions of people to distrust the official account. I have unfortunate news. 45 minutes later, we've learned that real Candace Owens makes money doing her job. Baron Coleman gets super chats doing his. And John Aaron Bray. Oh, he's the seller of kombucha. Okay, John Aaron Bray sells kombucha. Oh, they're funny, right? By the end, Who Killed Charlie Kirk feels like a slightly misleading title. Who are all these annoying people who keep asking questions? Would have been considerably more accurate. We're still asking. Oh, and one more thing. Andrew Kolvet, I owe you an apology. I previously thought you were terrible at PR. Watching Brandy Zad Rosny spend 45 minutes ridiculing the very people TPUSA presumably wants to convince has made me realize I dramatically underestimated you. You're spectacularly terrible at PR. I agree. All right. This guy. So, yeah, the debate's happening, and what's his name? PB is going to moderate it.
This stupid news piece from MSNBC. So he's tweeting that out. So what he's revealing here is that they knew the Epstein files and the Gaza war and the Iran war and all the stuff that Trump was doing to go back at that was a problem. That was a big problem. And so the Charlie Kirk murder gave a chance for them to paper over those problems, come together and win the next election. It's almost like he's saying, yeah, it was a good idea to murder Charlie Kirk because it gave the right wing and the Republicans something to rally around where we can make up that it's the lefties that did it, or Antifa or whoever.
Right.
And we could all hate them together and we could go on to win.
But it didn't work because we're not stupid. All right, let's see. So sorry to bring this guy up, Jeremy Boring, but we got to listen to what he's got to say. Let me see. Thank you for the gift. The waffles. That's a cool picture. Is that a dolphin or a fish? Like a marlin? Marlin on your hat. Or what is that one called? I can't think of it right now. Kathy, friends. Matt, thanks for being bold in your faith. First of all, thanks for all you do to set this world up right. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, Kathy. I appreciate you. All right. Here we go. Jeremy Boring. I wonder what he's going to say. Let me make sure I'm on the right part of it. Yes.
Social credit and your good name are valued more highly than personal integrity or truth. On September 1st, a 4th District courtroom in Provo, Utah, will once again hear oral arguments to decide whether Tyler Robinson should be bound over to stand trial for the murder of Charlie Kirk. Over months of preparations leading to a preliminary hearing a few weeks ago, the prosecutors built their case the hard way, the agonizingly slow and methodical way, using facts and evidence, testimony from eyewitnesses, hours of security footage.
You're an idiot. Okay, hold on. Here we go. We got it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to, I forget who it was that sent it to me. Actually, I can look. No, I can't because it'll show the email. All right. I don't know if I can make it bigger. Hold on. Does that help? Does that make it a little bit bigger? No, it's still so tiny. Wait, why is this so much smaller than this one? Oh, it's because it's my email one. What if we did that and we got rid of that for a second? What if we did that? That helps, right? You guys like that? All right, here we go. So this is the bind over report that was filed on, where's the date? It was like 2 weeks ago. All right. And it's by the state of Utah, right? So after taking evidence, after taking evidence at the 5-day preliminary hearing, July 6th through 10th, 2026, this court, acting as magistrate, asked the parties to brief the matter. This is likely as straightforward a bind over decision as this court will ever see. Really. After admitting to several friends. Okay, so he's saying that Tyler admitted to Lance Twiggs, right, through the text messages, the letter, and then in person when he came back, and then to the Discord chat, all of which have yet to be verified and validated, metadata, timestamped, none of it. We don't have any confirmation that those were sent from Tyler. Okay? That's just that. So admitting to several friends, including his roommate and romantic partner, we have no proof that they were in any romantic relationship. The only things come from the prosecution and the news. Okay? And the feds. We have yet to see one photo of them like holding hands, hugging, kissing, being affectionate to one another. Tyler doesn't seem confused with his gender at all, with his sexuality at all. He doesn't come across that way to me, and neither did the different versions of Lance Twiggs that we saw. The only versions of Lance Twiggs that you could say was more feminine and maybe, was into the furry thing would be those early photos of him as a junior hire and freshman. Okay. Junior hires and freshmen are still kids. All right. They do things that, aren't necessarily a part of what they become when they're older. It doesn't mean anything. We don't know that they were romantic at all. That he assassinated Charlie Kirk at UVU, Utah Valley University, on September 10th, 2025, in front of approximately 3,000 eyewitnesses. Defendant surrendered. See how careful they were with this word? Surrendered to law enforcement for that crime. Well, that's somewhat true. He surrendered himself to talk to the authorities regarding this crime. If he turned himself in and confessed to them for this crime, we would have that right here. They write this just in a way enough that it's somewhat honest, but also very misleading. Surrendered. That's what you call anytime you turn, you surrender yourself to authorities when they're like wanting you for questioning. Okay. You willingly go in, you surrender yourself. He's not turning himself in for the crime, right? To law enforcement for that crime. Yeah. In relation to the crime, right? These admissions, along with others, establish probable cause to support most of the elements of the charges. DNA testing did not conclusively prove that Tyler Robinson deposited his DNA on the rifle on September 10th on the roof at 12:23 and 28 seconds. The DNA on the rifle of Tyler Robinson is the most degraded. So the words used was the most degradation, right? It was the oldest DNA on the rifle. It had been exposed to the elements the longest. It should be the opposite if he's the last person to touch it. We also don't see that rifle on the roof. Okay. So the DNA evidence, toss it out. A minimum of 4 people's DNA are on all pieces of evidence. Okay. Lance Twiggs is not on the rifle. He made sure to wear gloves and to not let any of his DNA get on the rifle. Good for him. Doesn't mean he didn't plant the rifle. The rifle never was on the Losi Center. Never on the Losi Center roof. Right? Testing. All surveillance video that they're going to reference here are literally the worst pieces of evidence I've ever seen. We looked at a lot of them today. Inside of the parking garage, on top of the roof, walking down the stairs, walking through the tunnel, walking up the stairs. None of those pieces of evidence, like none of those surveillance videos show who it is. Benny Johnson said that in the beginning, you can't even tell if it's a man or a woman. Donald Trump said it's basically useless. Okay. And eyewitness testimony. There's only one eyewitness, supposedly. All right. Supposedly, not to the crime. The eyewitness is not to the commission of the crime. The eyewitness is Lance Twiggs to the letter, to the text messages, to the confession back at the house. Okay. And the eyewitness testimony buttress those elements and demonstrate probable cause to support the remaining elements. The court should bind defendant for trial over on all counts. They want him not released, right? We're going to continue to read on for a second because what's in this report, and I have someone that's going to send me. So the defense was supposed to file their brief today. Let me pull up another tab and see if it has been sent yet. No, not yet. Not yet. Yeah. I thought the defense's response was due today, but I don't see it in the courthouse portal yet. So maybe it's tomorrow. I'll send it to you once I have it. Awesome. Thank you so much, dude. Cheers. All right. So it's not being submitted today. All right. Let's continue. On September 10th, 2025. So literally all this does is restate everything that we heard in the prelim. Okay. None of it has been like substantiated to the point where you and I look at this and go like, they proved that it was Tyler on the roof. They proved that he had a rifle. They proved that it was the Mauser. They proved that he was shot with a 30-06 round. They proved that the DNA on the towel, the screwdriver, and the rifle and the Dremel tool were from Tyler Robinson. They didn't prove anything. So they're just quoting everything that we've already heard them quote, right? At approximately 12:23, 2028, an attendee standing directly in front of, well, I'll start up here, right? On September 10th, well, let me ask you guys, do you guys want me to read this? Do you want me to cover it? Or do you want me to, I can even post it on my X. Or I could even post it on the my YouTube channel's post where everyone could access it. Thank you so much for the gift. Thank you for that as well. Let me know if you guys actually want me to read it with you guys, or yes, you do. In here, sure, yes, okay. Let's go. On September 10th, 2025, Charlie Kirk and his organization, Turning Point USA, known as TPUSA, were holding an event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Trial day 1, and then it gives timestamps. Several thousand people attended and filled the amphitheater located near the center of campus and west of the Losi Center building. After the event began, Mr. Kirk seated himself under a canopy tent positioned on the west side of the amphitheater below the Hall of Flags. At approximately 12:23 and 28 seconds p.m., an attendee standing directly in front of Mr. Kirk was questioning him. That would be Hunter Kozak. When a gunshot rang out, they've never substantiated that it was a gunshot. They haven't. So we hear something that could be perceived as a gunshot. Okay. A gunshot rang out and a bullet, they've never substantiated that either, struck, and a bullet struck the left side of Mr. Kirk's neck, killing him. Okay. The bullet's trajectory was front to back, slightly left to right, and downward. So coming from the front, headed towards the back, and slightly left to right and downward, right? Because it's a 9-degree slope. The medical examiner concluded the manner of death to be homicide. A forensic examination conducted by the ATF revealed that the bullet that killed Mr. Kirk, was a 30 caliber class round. No, it didn't. It was a 2.86 to 0.301. That's just below a 30-06. I guess it maybe it's still considered a 30 caliber. Let's see. Let's take let's find out. Let me Google it. Is a 0.286 to 0.301 diameter of the base of a round a 30 caliber round? Yes. Okay. So a base diameter in the 0.286 to 0.301 inch range can be consistent with a nominal 30 caliber cartridge, but the exact interpretation depends on what part of the cartridge you're measuring. Well, let's see. Would this be consistent with a 30-06 round? Potentially. But it depends critically on what was measured. A standard 30-06 Springfield uses a bullet with a nominal diameter of 0.308 inch. Correct. 0.301, reasonably close to 0.308, particularly if you're talking about a recovered, deformed projectile or an imperfect measurement. No, what if it was a perfect measurement, but it was a fired round? If you're saying the object was a fired recovered projectile and the 0.286, 0.301 measurements are accurate, then I would not describe those measurements alone as a nominal, intact 30-06 bullet diameter. A 30-06 Springfield normally fires a 0.308 inch diameter projectile. If the recovered projectile measures 0.286 at one point and 0.301 at another, neither measurement equals the nominal 0.308. No, what actually they said was all they were able to do is give a range 0.286 to 0.301 of the minimum and maximum base diameter of the recovered round. Not even close to approaching 0.308. Right. If the forensic measurement is specifically the minimum and maximum diameter of the base of the recovered fired projectile, and they reported a 0.286 to 0.301 inch, that's meaningfully different from simply saying they recovered an intact 0.308 inch diameter bullet. Yeah. So, 0.301 is 0.007 smaller. 0.286 is 0.022 smaller. The maximum is about 2.3% below 308, and the minimum about 7.1% below. Yeah, I know. That's what we're saying. We're saying it don't make sense. Let's see. I just emailed you the list of rifles the fragments could be from that I pulled off the court hearing from Ballistic Expert. Yeah, there's 30. There's like roughly 30 different rifles. I think only 2 are bolt action. There's many that are handguns. I'll pull it up. Hold on. Let's see. All right. So let's count. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 18 guns fit the description of being able to fire the type of round recovered from Charlie Kirk, right? So so here, where's it going to say bolt action? RB. I think RB stands for bolt action. Hold on. Let me see how I can download this and upload it into my chat. Okay. Give me a second. I'm uploading it into my chat. Desktop. There it is. Help me better identify each of these guns and which ones are bolt action. Whoops. Oh my gosh. Why does it do this? This stinking. There we go. Oh, help me. Oh, wait. You know what I can do? Watch this. Oh, no. I don't want to hit that. That's going to mess with it. All right. Help me ID these guns and which are bolt action. All right. I had to condense it. All right. So, hold on. Hold on one second. I'm trying to. There we go. All right. Let me make sure it's on the screen. My goodness. All right. I'll try to make it bigger as well. All right. Well, at least that helps a little bit. So these are all of the guns that were on the list. Right. Let's see. Bolt action. There's only 2. Okay. This is the one that, well, just this one is the one. Okay. That is supposedly his dad's, a 30-06 Springfield U.S. military. All right. Bolt action. So all of these other ones are not even close to what the supposed murder weapon is, right? Yeah. You have a lever action, action unspecified, rifle, single shot lever action, 2 bolt actions, rifle, semi-automatic, pistol, rifle, pistol. Okay. Let's go back here. Let me put this back up. All right. So did you want to discuss that you think it probably was fired from a different weapon then, right? Is that kind of your point in bringing up these other guns? Let me know what you think. Thank you, Chris O. Christian, for the $14.99. I think I'm going to go through like 15 of these. Sweetie, if you can hear me, can you bring me a hot tea with lemon and honey, or any of the things that this amazing community recommended for me to do? Can you bring it to me, please? I'm trying to get through this. All right. Let me go back to the bind over report. All right. Where is it? A 30 I think the ATF, revealed that the bullet that killed Charlie Kirk was a 30 caliber round. It created a complex entrance gunshot wound. What does that mean? What does that mean? Hold on, I'm going to throw it in. In an autopsy. Okay, in an autopsy, a complex entrance gunshot wound is a descriptive forensic term. It means the pathologist identified the wound as an entry wound. Okay. But its appearance is more complicated than a simple, clean, round entrance defect. Did you guys hear that? If it was just a clear entry wound, they could say that entry wound here. So by using the language that she used, she's pretty much saying it does not behave, look like, appear to be an entry wound. It's a complex entrance gunshot wound. Complex can be used when the entrance has features such as irregular or torn margins, multiple components, extensive surrounding tissue disruption, fragmentation, and unusual shape, interaction with clothing, or an intermediate object, or other characteristics that make the wound morphology atypical. Importantly, the phrase does not by itself mean multiple bullets were fired. It does not mean it was an exit wound. It does not mean a particular caliber caused it, and it does not mean the bullet fragmented. It does not mean the bullet ricocheted first, and it does not mean a specific weapon or cartridge was used. Those conclusions require the rest of the autopsy description, especially wound dimensions, abrasion, contusion, collar, soot and stippling, tissue damage, trajectory, tissue damage. Where'd I go? I lost it. Trajectory, recovered fragments, projectile, and the pathologist's comments. So if an autopsy literally states complex entrance gunshot wound, I would interpret it as the medical examiner believes this is where the projectile entered, but the entrance wound has atypical, complicated morphology requiring further description. Huh. Okay, it says to give the entire paragraph. I will, but let me finish reading it to all of you guys. It created a complex entrance gunshot wound and fragmented. Huh. That's interesting because in that paragraph, in that thing I just read, it said you cannot determine that it fragmented just by having a complex entrance gunshot wound. Hold on. Let me copy and paste and go. All right. While I do that, let me finish reading. So the bullet, wait, is it on the screen still? Okay, cool. Cool. And we still got everyone here. Right on. Hey, we got 936 people here. Let me see how many we got. 468 likes. What is up with that? Half of you don't like me? Dang, that's insane. Can the other half of you that haven't hit the like do me a favor? It's like such an easy way to help support the channel. It's free. You just hit the button, the like. And I guarantee you, some of you are also not subscribed. It says that so many of my viewers are not subscribers, and I don't know why. You come back, but you don't want to subscribe. Thank you so much, sweetie. Not on there. Thank you. All right. Let's continue. Thank you. Okay. Where were we? Wait. Where did I finish? Where is it? Okay, complex. Okay, the bullet. Okay, the bullet, or at least parts of it, sequentially perforated the anterior left side of Mr. Kirk's neck, strap muscle of the left side of the neck, and the left common carotid, and left internal and external jugular vein or veins. The bullet also obliterated the left side of the C2 to C7. Let me see. I want to get an image. Hold on. My freaking mouse. All right. It's creating an image. Let me read what it said based on what I had written, or what I copy and pasted. The additional context makes the phrase much clearer. In this passage, complex entrance gunshot wound is being used alongside an explicitly fragmented projectile and extremely extensive disruption of the neck structures. Reading only what you've quoted, here's what the medical findings actually establish. The entrance, anterior left side of the neck, projectile behavior. The bullet fragmented in the neck, so subsequent injuries may have been produced by the primary projectile fragments or both. Vascular injury, perforation of the left common carotid artery and the left internal and external jugular veins. Spinal injury, destruction described as obliterating the left side of the C2 to C7 with transection of the cervical spinal cord and a significant portion of the cord actually absent. Somebody was arguing in an X space today that that's not what that meant. That it says right here, a significant portion of the cord was actually absent. Interesting. Let's see. So here. All right. Can you guys see this? Yes. Awesome. So the C2 is here. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let me go here. Let me find a very good photo of Charlie. I know I have one recent. All right. Here. This also gives a very good picture of the necklace and the clasp. All right. This is a really good picture of him. I like this picture. And he was actually wearing this a lot right before he was murdered, because he's wearing the Trump at Butler. You see the flag and you see Trump's hand in the air. All right. So this is Charlie's right side, but just to give you an understanding, yes, he was hit on the left side, but it was like right here. Okay. Right there, but on the left side. All right. His C2, Charlie's a big guy. He has a big neck, a long neck, and a big head. His C2 is way up here. Okay. I'll show you. Okay. Here's the ear. Here's the jaw bone. So it's almost at the bottom of the jaw is parallel with the bottom of the C2. Okay. So let's just go back to this real quick. Right. So the bottom of the jaw, and it's going to slope back here, is going to be right where the bottom of the C2 is. All right. The wound was way down here. Okay. On the left side, but it supposedly came in at a 9-degree angle and then shot up here, hit the C2, and then crashed through all 6 vertebrae into the C7. Right. So it supposedly came in down by like the C4. All right. Shot up, hit the C2. And this is Charlie's left side of his spinal, his, vertebrae, crashed through all of these. So C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7. And then at the C7, it transects. That means it cuts across. So here is another angle, right? C2 right here. It's this little dangly thing that hangs out. It's literally almost at the base of the skull. Okay. The C1 is just barely above it, kind of hiding. You can't see it in this one, right? So C2 crashes through all of these, gets to the C7. Look how much bigger the C7 is, right? And then it's going to transect the spinal cord. And then all of this is missing. Oops. All of this is missing. It's traumatically absent. All right. So it says, thank you for becoming a member. All right, let me continue reading. So it says, the bullet also obliterated the left side of the C2 through C7 vertebrae and transected the cervical spinal cord. The medical examiner observed that a significant portion of Mr. Kirk's cervical spinal cord was traumatically absent. There's this guy that was in an X space today arguing that that's not what that meant. Okay. So when I copied this and I threw it into chat and asked it what it meant, right? It said, where is it? With the transection of the cervical spinal cord and a significant portion of the cord actually absent. It goes on to say that the airway neck injury, hold on, let me take a sip. Oh, that's good. I don't know. I got one of your guys' remedies. Thank you, sweetie. Wait, I didn't do that. I wasn't going to put it back in there. All right. The airway neck injury, multiple disruptions of the thyroid, cricoid, and tracheal cartilages, chest findings, hemorrhage, hematoma around the upper lungs, intercostal regions, bilateral hemothorax, blood in both pleural spaces of the lungs, and hemopericardium, blood in the sac surrounding the heart. Intracranial finding, subarachnoid hemorrhage involving areas around the cerebellar, vermis, and parietal regions. What complex probably means here is, with this context, I would not treat complex entrance as synonymous with large caliber entrance. What do you know? I would not treat it as synonymous with large caliber entrance. The passage itself gives us a much stronger explanation for why the injury is complex. The projectile fragmented, supposedly, and produced extensive disruption of multiple adjacent anatomical structures. All right, let me get back to this. I know I had this up. I didn't pop over. Sorry. All right. Here. Traumatically absent. Kirk suffered other severe injuries, including okay, I read this, right? The posterior. Let's see. I read that. Both of his lungs, left and right, hemothorax. I read all that. I read regions of Mr. Kirk's brain. This is so tragic what he experienced. When the bullet struck Mr. Kirk, Officer Christopher Bagley of the UVU police was stationed on the south end of the walkway roof of the Hall of Flags above Mr. Kirk's canopy. Well, by the way, watch. Hold up. Cool. Didn't mess anything up. Right? Losi Center, corner roof. Charlie Kirk was like right about here. This is the Hall of Flags roof where Officer Bagley was. Okay. And I'll back up in a second once we come all the way around. I'm going to get straight on. He supposedly looked right over. He's a liar, though. He didn't. He didn't. When walkway on the roof of the Hall of Flags, Mr. Kirk's canopy, based on his experience with firearms, Bagley believed that the bullet came from a rifle fired from a position east of Mr. Kirk's canopy. Notice that in his actual verbal testimony when he was in court during the prelim, he didn't say that. Remember that? I don't know why they're allowed to do certain things in writing. I mean, it makes sense that when you're on the stand and you're sworn in, anything you say on the stand is going to be subject to cross. But she was able to bring up his previous written statements and show that what he initially wrote and what they're claiming here is contradictive to his testimony in court during the prelim, that he didn't actually immediately register a rifle shot. He didn't immediately, on the roof of the Hall of Flags, look over to the Losi Center and go, aha, perfect sniper's position. I will go over there. No, he ran down, was assisting on the ground. They thought they had got the shooter because George Zinn said, I did it, take me. Then he finds some sort of empty gun holster, and then 20-something minutes has passed, and then he's like, no, that's not it. And they realize it's not George Zinn. So then he looks up, and then he runs over and goes up on the roof of the Losi Center. So he's not honest. I forgot. Before I get too bogged down in this, I want to finish this. I'll come back to that, okay?
Forensic reports, DNA evidence, handwriting on shell casings, and a .30-06 rifle. Based on everything known publicly so far, this appears to be an open and shut case of a young man radicalized by a morally bankrupt leftist ideology committing violence against his political opposition. Charlie Kirk believed his conservative ideology was so grounded in truth that he opened himself up to debate from anyone willing to stand up at a microphone. He engaged with his opponents freely, openly, and graciously. And that, in the estimation of many in the LGBTQ plus movement and the broader left-wing movement that celebrated in the wake of his death, was deserving of murder.
What?
The evidence against Tyler Robinson is substantial, and yet the rules will still be followed. The evidence will still be presented carefully. The accused will be presumed innocent until proven guilty, and God willing, justice will be done.
Why do these people have so much invested in lying? What is their investment in Tyler Robinson being found guilty? Do you guys have a good explanation? Is there monetary value coming their way? They need the left to be found guilty so then they can justify, we proved it. We're going to now go knock down doors and remove all guns from anyone that's ever had affiliations with any leftist group. They're going to round up all the liberals. They're going to be able to reunite the right once they get a conviction that Tyler Robinson did it. Even if they say secure a conviction, with everything that we've seen, it's not going to end well. We're all going to be pissed. We've seen the evidence, man. We're reading it. Well, how come you haven't read it, Jeremy? How come you haven't stepped through it? What a little liar, man.
It's one of the hardest things a civilization ever asks of itself, to put aside passion and to present evidence in pursuit of truth and justice in a court of law. It's also one of the most beautiful and one of the most fragile things that we've inherited in the West. A room where the accused gets his day in court before an impartial law and an impartial jury of his peers. It took thousands of years to build that room. But on the other side of the country, behind a podcast microphone and in front of cameras, another trial is taking place. This trial has no lawyers. It has no judge. It has no jury, no burden of proof, no legal standards for presenting and submitting evidence. To Candace Owens and her millions of followers, Tyler Robinson is innocent. He's a fall guy, a patsy, a plant put there by unseen forces who are really pulling the strings.
Man, these people come across so dumb. You know, when every other political assassination in our country's history, literally, there was government agents involved in it, foreign and domestic. There is no example of a true lone gunman political assassination. Whether it's Martin Luther King, Robert, Teddy, or JFK. And the same is true with Charlie. It just shows a complete willful ignorance to be honest and to question, the government, when clearly you and Ben Shapiro and the likes of you, Gary Melton, TPUSA, were there to shore up this administration and the Republican Party. And Charlie was clearly threatening that by questioning the war in Iran, questioning Gaza, questioning Jeffy Epi. That was challenging it all. He had the potential to ruin everything. Thank you for that. The gain. We are right. Don't question us. Yeah, that's a good point.
Charlie's friends and family, the FBI, Israel, the Jews. Who really killed Charlie Kirk? Well, the answer to that depends on what day you happen to be listening to Candace Owens, because it changes from week to week.
No, it doesn't.
Every week, for weeks and months, Candace has announced that she's closer than ever to finding the real culprit, and that you'll just have to tune into the next episode for a few more answers. In Candace's trial, the winners are determined by likes and shares, by the whims of...
I do agree with that. I wish she would hold back on kind of saying, but she's also, she's doing a show, and she's just using the show that already existed to do the investigation. So she still has to make it like a show, like somewhat entertaining. And I do believe that we're getting closer each week. I don't know that we're getting closer to like a specific group of people yet. I don't know that it's been like honed in that specific yet. But she's damned if she does and damned if she doesn't. They're going to critique her either way. They're going to find something to nitpick about because they're little men. This guy has the Elon Musk torch gun behind him, guys. Do you see that? Why does he have that behind him when he's talking about Candace Owens? It is right there on purpose. Why? Does he use it? Hold on. Does he demo it? Why is it there? Like, what is the point of it being there? Like a veiled threat?
The mob, and by schoolyard insults. Insight comes in the form of gossip and hearsay, and the occasional mystic encounter in a dream, of course. As for the overwhelming evidence presented in the actual court, Candace isn't weighing the evidence and finding it thin. She's telling you not to weigh it at all. And her millions and millions of followers are listening to her every.
That's what they're jealous about. That she has actual millions and millions of followers that actually tune in daily, right? Go to Jeremy Boring, go to Ben Shapiro, Josh Hammer, Graham Allen, go to TPUSA and Andrew Kolvet. Yeah, they might have hundreds of thousands and millions of subscribers. Nobody's turning in anymore. I'm surprised no one's unsubscribed. There should be a mass exodus that occurred.
Word. If the courtroom in Utah represents the glory of Western civilization, and it does, a modern order only dreamt of by ancient slaves and medieval peasants who suffered under the whims of kings or the fury of mobs, well, then the podcast studio and the online audience of Candace Owens represents something very different. It represents everything our ancestors built civilization to escape. It represents the old default. You see it all the time online. Someone makes a careful, well-reasoned case, lays out the facts, walks through the logic, and arrives at a conclusion. And then another person responds, not with a better argument, but with an attack, with contempt, with volume, with a sneer, with a cutting little line about how ugly or stupid the person is. Now, for most of our lives, responding...
All right. That's enough out of you, buddy. You are so boring. Yeah, we're done with this video. They are weaponizing everybody. This is an older one, but nonetheless, every time Candace does something, if you want to know what side you're on, and it sucks that there are sides. That sucks. I don't think any of us, I don't think Candace and Tucker and all of us thought there was going to be sides in the wake of the assassination. But I know that these people had to have seen it coming if they knew what their response, what the narrative that they were going to be pushing was. Maybe, you know, like Gary and like Gary Meltdown, Tim Pool, and others didn't know about the narrative until after they got their first paycheck, in my opinion, their first government contract, or however it was that they got brought over to the dark side. But Erica Kirk, Mikey McCoy, Andrew Kolvet, Blake Neff, Frank Turek, all of those guys, they knew. They had to have foreseen that, like, Erica doing what she did with TPUSA, all of the press tour, speaking engagements, things that she said, where she went, who she partnered with, Barry Weiss. They had to have known that saying Charlie was in support of Iran, that we should just trust Trump regarding Jeffy Epi. Charlie was a lifelong supporter of Israel to the very end. Don't forget this, ladies and gentlemen. Like, don't forget. Well, first off, this is such a good photo of him. But let me show you. Goodness gracious, this mouse. Stop acting up, bro. All right. How many times do I have to put in new batteries? What was I going to pull up? I got to remember which way it went. It is, I don't know if this one has music. Hold on. This is by Chewing. Goodness. This mouse is going to be the death of
winning or losing the
Hold
problem.
on.
Have some.
Okay. We'll watch this. And then, so this is the week before Charlie's murdered. And then we're going to listen to BB's response.
Have some mild pushback on some of the overreaches, whether it's, whether they're.
Look at Charlie's body language. Look at his face. Look at his facial expression. Listen to the words.
Winning or losing the propaganda.
Holy smokes. He seemed defeated. Like he seemed so deeply troubled and bothered that people that he had trusted, people that he thought were his associates, his friends, his coworkers, his donors, were doing what they were doing to him. It's all over his face. I've never seen him look like that. Funds for a new mouse. Thank you. Yeah, It is new. It's literally, I put a new battery in it every day. I have no clue. Brand new batteries, Duracell. It's got to be a junky mouse. Maybe I need to take it back to Best Buy and tell them. And it's the stinking thing too. Like this thing, brand new batteries in it. This guy. What do you call that? A keyboard, a typewriter. I'm just kidding, a keyboard. There's another one. I think we can hear the words. I think. Let's see. This one also. No, this one's also the.
They're losing the propaganda.
That's also the music. All right, let's go to this. Here we go.
The faster it will spread.
All right, it's super bad video. I mean, it's bad either way because it's this freaking guy. But
the bigger the lie, the faster it will spread. Well, somebody has fabricated a monstrous big lie that Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk's horrific murder. This is insane. It is false. It is outrageous. Charlie Kirk was a giant, a once-in-a-century talent who defended freedom, defended America, defended our common Judeo-Christian civilization. Charlie loved Israel. He loved the Jewish people. He told me so in a letter that he sent me just a few months ago. One of my greatest joys as a Christian, he said, is advocating for Israel and forming alliances with Jews to protect Judeo-Christian civilization.
Until he found out you were an evil scumbag. We all just woke up after 2023, Mr. Netanyahu. Things change. He wrote that letter to you in the spring of 2025. And then you took that as some sort of like anointing or blessing that he was, dude, he wrote you that letter to sever ties. You were trying to pressure him to use TPUSA to shill for you. He said, I'm not going to do it, dude. Here, I wrote out a step-by-step blueprint plan. I'll even give you the name. I'll tell you what you've done wrong, how to fix it. He literally spelt it out for you like you're a child. Your response back, no, I still want to do it with you. He said no. Then come the summer, you offer him money to take TPUSA to the next level. He says no. You had always been planning this backup plan with the Show Faith by Works FAR filing, the Clock Tower X FAR filing, and you were working behind the scenes with Miriam Adelson, Andrew Kolvet, Frank Turek, Rob McCoy, James Cadiz, Erica Kirk, Mikey McCoy, Tyler Boyer, Stacey Sheridan, all of the forever Zionists that were so willing to sell their souls to Israel, to shill for you and for this administration, to lie to the public, just so that we'll believe in the system that's completely broken, so that we won't abandon the vote, so that we don't completely not show up, in the midterms. Erica and everyone that's remained at TPUSA was okay to do the thing that Charlie was willing to die for. Charlie was willing to die. I don't think he wanted to die. I don't think he had a death wish. I don't think he was walking out that day. I don't agree with people that say that Charlie knew he was going to be murdered. That's stupid. Sorry. He was a good dad. He had 2 little kids under 4. You're telling me that he would have known he was going to be murdered and he just walked out anyway, allowed those 2 kids to grow up with fathers? Did you know what Charlie Kirk said? The major issue with it was mainly a statistic with the Black community, but it's true across all families. Children from fatherless homes are more likely to end up in jail, in prison, on drugs, promiscuous, not having stable, healthy relationships, not being productive, part citizens in the society. It's not a one size fits all. I came from a fatherless household, but holy smokes, did I have an uphill battle to fight. And boy, did it take me a long time to figure it all out. You're telling me that Charlie would willingly abandon his two children, little Gigi and Mac? He wanted to teach his son how to throw the football. He wanted to go to Friday night lights with his son, watch his son lace up, throw that pigskin, son, watch the lights turn on and reflect off the helmet, smell the grass after a rainy day. I remember what that's like. I don't have a son. I can imagine what that was like for Charlie to think about. And then all of the beautiful things he was imagining about his daughter, father-daughter dances, father-daughter dates, you know, cuddling you are their favorite person for so long until they're like teenagers. But then they go through a stage of you not being the coolest person. You're kind of a dork, even if you're cool like me, cool like Charlie. But then as they mature, they come back again. He's wanted to be able to go to dances with his daughter, watch it, help, advise his daughter about relationships, watch his daughter graduate high school, go to college maybe, as long as she picked the proper career path, not any of the humanities. Watch her graduate, watch her get married, give her away, be there for her when she had grandkids. You're telling me that he saw all that in the future and he goes, nah. That's why I don't buy it when people say that he knew he was going to die and he walked out into it anyway. That's what Frank and all them say. Just so you know, that's what all of them say. Okay. Thank you for the floating heart.
He encouraged me to make the case directly to the American people about how vital Israel is to U.S. national security.
Nope.
He told me, the Holy Land is so important to my life, it pains me to see support for Israel.
Not to the country of the United States. The Holy Land is important to his life, his Christian life, his memories there. Not to America. See how he conflated the two?
Flip away. Now, if Charlie disagreed with a policy of mine or a decision here and there, not only did I not mind, I welcomed it.
Really? You argued for the war. What are you talking about? He stood in your way. He didn't want you to bomb the nuclear sites. That didn't make you happy. He said no to you twice. You didn't like that. Who says no to Bibi, right? He wanted no war, no regime change, no boots on the ground, no quagmire, unnecessary war in the Middle East brought about by a country that doesn't have our best interests at heart, lose American servicemen and women for you? No, he wasn't for that. You know that. You're a liar.
This is the essence of Charlie. This is the essence of a free country. It's exactly what Charlie stood for. And I knew that his suggestions always came from the heart, from his love for Israel and from his love for the Jewish people. A few weeks before his death, I spoke to Charlie. I invited him to visit Israel again. And sadly, that won't happen. Now some are peddling these disgusting rumors, perhaps out of obsession, perhaps with Qatari funding.
We're funded by Qatar. Why is that their go-to? Holy smokes. That's how you know this whole thing's a bunch of crock. Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Joe Kent, all of us, none of us are funded by Qatar, bro. This is literally just like our brains at work trying to solve a puzzle. And then we see you and we're like, ding, 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 ding. I think we have a winner.
What I do know is this.
What do you know?
Charlie Kirk was a great man. And a great man deserves honor, not lies.
We're not dishonoring him by accusing you of murder. Make that make sense. He is a great man. He'll always be a great man. He is deserving of honor, respect. Us thinking that you and your country of, megalomaniac, Likud party elitists, bloodthirsty, murderers had something to do with it, in our opinion. It's my opinion. Doesn't dishonor Charlie. It dishonors you. You. And you're not a good man. You don't deserve honor. You don't deserve respect. You're not an honest person.
Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk.
You're gross, bro. Oh, here we go.
Owens has released footage showing a man running across the rooftop in Utah, taking a prone position, then getting up and running. We can't really discern much from this video other than it is new footage that apparently comes from Utah. We don't know if it's the proper date. We don't know if it's real footage. It could have been staged after the fact. We don't know.
Okay.
Now, the people who believe Charlie Kirk was assassinated not by Tyler Robinson, the people who believe Candace Owens are just going to believe Candace Owens in this capacity. And Alex Jones has made a series of statements which...
How do these people have such big platforms, man? How did they ever get to the size that they're at? How did anyone ever respect these guys and listen to them?
Play the clip from Candace's show.
Lateral crawl. Let's watch that.
What's up with all these men attacking her? What is up with that? It's so weird.
There's a person
there he goes,
crawling on the ground.
And I actually do want to show you a side.
Yeah, and she shows the army guy doing the lateral crawl.
You draw conclusions. It's called assumptive reasoning.
No, it's
hey,
not.
Look, here's a video.
Bro, it's called logic, deductive reasoning. Looks like he's doing exactly what she thinks he's doing.
Like, if you were trying to keep your legs straight while you were running, which is entirely possible to do, looks like it's possible. Now, like the left leg is bent. Was it the right leg? Because I thought...
What's wrong with this dude's left leg? This is what people mean when they're like, there's something off with this footage. What is wrong with his right leg? This whole rooftop footage is total BS.
See that this video footage is about...
Look at that.
About 10 to 15 frames per second, which means that there's frame jumping. It's hard to see. But if you actually watch the right leg, the left leg is bent. Was it the right leg? Because I thought, when I first watched this, I thought there was no limp. But watching it now, you can actually see that there.
You're an idiot. There's no limp. Do you not know what the court document said, Tim? There's a part of this video cut out. They said that he already took out the rifle out of his pants and assembled it before running. He totally bent both legs. He also bent both legs walking down and up the stairs. He couldn't remember. He couldn't remember if he was left-handed or right-handed.
There is a slight limp.
Okay.
Like, if you were trying to keep your legs straight while you were running, which is entirely possible to do, looks like it's possible.
Now, what happens next is exactly as my...
Again, that's called assumptive reasoning.
All right, I'm done with him. He pretty much just attacks Candace, right? The entire time he plays this video and just attacks her. They're all doing it. That's all that they're doing. That's it. It's crazy. They're also attacking Tucker Carlson. All right, let's go here. My goodness, my little mouse keeps jumping. We wouldn't have a complete show without these. Tweedledee, Tweedledum, Beavis and Butthead.
Crazy story, okay? Where apparently it's contradicting public statements. Trump took a secret flight from Turkey amid an Iranian threat. So the White House said the president was aboard Air Force One, but as he was leaving this NATO summit in Turkey, instead his departure included an elaborate ruse.
I forgot. Before I wanted to hop to this, because we're going to end with the Candace Owens thing, and she's got the debate coming. My bad. I'm out of whack. Sorry, guys. We're going to look at that in a second once we move on. This is Andrew Wilson begging for money. He goes, I paid up the $300,000. I did my, I honored my responsibility of paying the $300,000. And he goes, but if any of you would like to help me recoup that, go ahead and donate to me. Brian Carter. The only way that Charlie would knowingly walk into it is if someone told him there must be a sacrifice. Either you or the children. That's a good point. But he would have had to have believed that there was no one else he could have gone to. Like, it would have had to have been, above, or it would have had to, those threatening him would have had to have included Trump and J.D. Vance and the administration, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, that Charlie felt he had nowhere to go for help. He would have had to have felt that it was a foregone conclusion and that the only real way was to walk out there.
Update of exactly where we are. A few weeks ago, Brian Atlas, a friend of mine who runs the Whatever podcast, offered up $100,000 for Candace Owens to debate with me about the murder of Charlie Kirk on his platform. He eventually raised it to $150,000, to which I said I would match it if we could actually debate on neutral ground. I expressed this story recently on the Joe Rogan podcast. Candace and her fans' reactions were volatile, to say the least. She issued a strange counter that I needed to pay her $500,000 and that TPUSA needed to, quote, claim me. Now, I don't work for TPUSA, so I couldn't grant that concession. It would have been a lie.
Wait.
She followed with an...
You do work for TPUSA. They hired you to teach them how to debate. Why do all these people have so much money to just give out $300,000? Holy smokes. Holy smokes.
Offer of me paying $300,000 to debate her at her home on the topic of if Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk and if he was a federal patsy or not. Obviously, this gives massive advantages to Owens, but I'm never one to back down from a debate challenge, even if I think the terms are fundamentally unfair.
You backed down from mine. You agreed to it, and then you reneged and ran and act like you didn't know who I was. And there was many other people that you did the same thing. Okay? You do. Your word means nothing.
We entered into negotiations, and during those negotiations, Joe Rogan contacted us both, asking to host our debate. This is perhaps something you guys don't know. Obviously, I thought that changed everything, as that would guarantee the biggest platform for both of us to make our case on neutral ground. Unsurprisingly to me, Candace Owens declined. No control, you see.
Yeah, or she didn't trust the environment. She didn't want to go to Texas, you idiot. Do you know who lives in Texas? All of the bad guys. They all live out there. She doesn't want to go to Texas, moron.
She insisted it be at her home still, even after Rogan said he would come in on his off day to do the debate, and I would still give her the $300,000.
It's not about the money.
You would think if she was actually trying to change the minds of normies and reach a new audience, that's where she would go, but sadly, no.
Not about the money.
After many rounds of negotiations and a new moderator stepping in who assures us it'll be fair, we came to an agreement. I went ahead and sent the $300,000, and it has been confirmed by her staff and to us that it has been sent. I am going to clear the air on a few things. I wasn't some Charlie Kirk fanboy.
No, we know.
In fact, I had and still have my disagreements with him.
Yep.
But I always thought TPUSA did way more good than it did harm to the conservative movement. But I will never forget the series of TikTok invasions I did post Charlie's death, only to watch the lunatic left laughing and mocking and having the time of their lives watching the spiral of chaos that came after. It was enraging, to say the least.
Candace isn't responsible for that.
I know I'm not a very nice man.
No, you're not.
I get that. But I am a very kind man.
Wait, I'm not a nice man, but I'm a kind man. Let's see. I just want to find something out. Can the same man not be nice, but still be kind? Seems contradictory to me. Nice and kind aren't the same thing. Niceness is often about how you interact with someone, being agreeable, pleasant, polite, accommodating, and avoid friction. Kindness is more about why and what you do, genuinely wanting what's good for another person. But I would say, like, if you're truly a kind person, you're also nice. Okay? That'd be my argument. So
I lamented many times to my wife how god-awful the family and friends of Charlie must feel about what happened to him after he died.
They
Trying
don't
to
feel
find
bad.
some new normal under intense media scrutiny, balancing duty and obligation with remorse, regret, and overwhelming sadness.
This guy.
My stated objective for my platform, The Crucible, has been unwavering, and I've never strayed from its goal. Destroy the left.
Destroy the left.
Take them on everywhere on their own turf, outside their turf, at their events, in their safe spaces. Challenge them everywhere and destroy their ideas. Be unrelenting, never stop, and not one step back. This woman, Candace, has been terrorizing both the widow of Charlie Kirk and the organization he left behind. It's obvious her stated goal is to destroy the largest conservative college and high school outreach program currently in existence. Do I disagree with a lot of TPUSA ideas? I do. I would rather try to change them, though, than burn down the only organization in my lifetime to really get a foothold in academia, the thing conservatives have wanted for 60 years.
She's not trying to burn it down, bro. She's like bringing up contradictions, lies, hypocrisies. They're burning it down themselves. They're burning it down. Okay. They're doing it all themselves. They don't need any help.
In the following weeks, I will be relentlessly attacked from the Candace Owens cult for daring to put their leader to the question and for daring to question the questioners. I accept that as a side effect of challenging what has become a powerful industry of conspiracy peddling true crime nonsense, which has a sick.
You're going to be able to watch the debate. We're going to do a watch party. We're going to do it here, and we'll make it better than by itself. Okay? We can watch it here together, live. All right? All right. Are you guys done watching him? He's gross, right? Let me go. There's a couple things I want to show, and then I'm going to go back to the medical, the bind over report. Hell yes, Matt. All right, cool. Yeah, we're going to watch it here. So don't forget the woman that he's saying that
How could you hate that place?
Israel.
How could you hate?
Here we go.
Discernment.
Yes.
Okay. Being able to separate truth from lies, reality from unreality. A 22-year-old man named Tyler Robinson has been arrested and charged with the murder of your husband. And yet there are
Why did she do this? This is so performative. Holy smokes. She didn't even wear black at the memorial. She didn't even wear black the first week. She wore white. Why is she in a state of mourning 3 months after? This is in December with her single necklace. She always wears like 20 rings, necklaces, bracelets. She knows, just so you know, okay, the Barry Weiss town hall was pre-recorded, multiple takes, scripted. She knew who was going to be there, what they were going to say. They approved everything that happened. Her team approved everything. They took different takes. This was the final one that we saw. This is a performance. Charlie never did this. Never. Why did she decide to do this? Why did she decide to do it this way? Look at her. This is so fake, bro.
huge number of conspiracy theories, you might call them brain rot, that are spreading right now online about the actual story behind the reality. One, people say that Tyler Robinson.
Look at that face. Watch her slowly lift up at the right point. They told her to time it just right. Look up slowly at this moment. Tilt your head. Give a like a cocky smile, smirk.
Robinson was actually a MAGA Republican.
It's funny. 3 months after, it's funny.
Or two, some people say you were actually a Mossad agent sitting in front of me, and you were Charlie's handler, and Israel killed Charlie.
Right.
Other people say that a number of men in the crowd were wearing maroon T-shirts.
They were.
And this signifies that his killing was an elite airborne operation, whatever that means. They say that the rings on your fingers, which are
my kids'
your
initials,
kids' initials,
my wedding band.
Why does she do that? She plays into all of it. It's so unnecessary. It has the opposite effect. It made us hate you. Is that the goal? To make us distrust you and dislike you? So that like we all stop like paying attention to Turning Point and what you guys are saying and doing every day? You've lost all of your audience.
And the Medal of Freedom, my engagement ring.
But apparently they symbolize some kind of secret plot. There's also a new theory that Egyptian aircraft have been tracking you.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on? Why are there so many conspiracies spreading about what seems to be a pretty open and shut case?
This is the first time that we have seen evil on display where we have social media at our fingertips.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Something so evil that happened, people are wanting answers immediately. They are wanting to figure out how to wrap their mind around this.
Egyptian planes.
Egyptian planes.
Let's just
Hold on. Let's take a flight on that for a second. She makes a joke.
Do you believe that Tyler Robinson murdered your husband?
Yes, I do.
A picture's worth 1,000 words, right? This was filmed and broadcast on December 14th, 2025. September, October, November, December. 3 months. 3 months after the murder, she gets up with that face and says, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I believe he did it.
Why do you think it is so hard for so many people to believe that reality?
It's too simple.
Because it's too simple. Again, everyone always has to think there's more to the story. Well, sometimes there's not. I've seen the autopsy report. I've seen our case pulled together.
Our case.
I've been in constant contact with our lawyers, our
lawyers. Oh my gosh. My sneeze, sorry.
The prosecuting team. I've seen it all. And let me tell you this. Why in the world, why should we, prior to the trial, lay all of our hands and cards on the table for the defense?
Why does she tell the public that she says our, we, ours, as if she's part of the prosecution, the state of Utah, prosecuting Tyler Robinson? The surviving family members should not have a side. The side is the truth, Erica. Withhold your judgment until you find out the truth. You don't want a specific person given to you as the killer. You want the actual killer. That's the only way to get justice. It's the only way to honor Charlie, is to fight for the truth and find the actual murderer. There's no way you knew and actually believed everything you just said right now. We've seen it all now. Back then we didn't. We were believing, wow, they must have a lot. There's a mountain. There's an avalanche. 90% could be thrown out and they'd still convict. We were like, dang, dude, what do they have? I mean, maybe we've only seen like 1%. Maybe that's why they showed us all the bad stuff. They're keeping all the good stuff for the trial. We get through the trial. We're like, oh, no. You've been lying this whole time. Cool. All right. You know, but we're not supposed to notice. That's evil.
Team to see to somehow then, I don't even know what they would do with it. But what I will say, and I want to get on the Egyptian
I want to take a trip on that for a second.
plane thing, take a flight on that for a second. What I will say is what I'm worried about, and I'm fascinated
About how social media will impact the trial, like Luigi Mangione. I am just such an intellectual. I am so well versed in the legal system that I am just so fascinated with how social media will impact the trial. It's like she had a crystal ball. It's like she knew that all of these people were going to be on social media calling out BS for BS, saying, that's not what that looks like. That doesn't look like Tyler Robinson. That doesn't look like good evidence. They're front loading the issue that they knew was going to happen, because I do believe that she saw everything. I do believe she's working with the prosecution. But she also knows that there's nothing real against Tyler. We've seen it all. Right? Don't forget, that was 3 months after. This is right away.
Erica Kirk, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks. You.
It's surreal to actually be sitting, because last time I was standing, but
Thank you.
I don't know. Just to sit. It's a little more emotional.
Yeah. Well,
don't worry. She'll say she's very excited in a couple minutes. Super emotional. Thank you. This chair. That man. This chick.
you are rightly at the head of the table.
Rightly.
And we're just so honored to have you here. I know that you have been, to say that your life has been a whirlwind would be the understatement of the century. And to make time for Charlie's audience and to speak to them, I know that they can't wait to hear from you, and just to see you in this room probably means a lot to them. And you've been up against.
It did, but I will say that the casket scene threw me off, and I was like, what? Do you guys remember this hanging out the door? This? And she's like hanging out the door, and she's got like the token, the relic of Charlie, the necklace, and she's like hanging out the door, leaving the funeral home, and she's just like, Stacey Sheridan's behind her, like, yeah, that looks great. These are going to be great for social media. Good, keep it up. Hang out there a little bit farther. What happened after that? Oh, then she goes on the Charlie Kirk show, gets up there with the necklace, and she's like, dear God, give me the strength to do it. Like on camera. Like, you didn't pray with the team before you started rolling. Dangle the freaking necklace on the chair. Forgive Tyler Robinson at the memorial. Oh, this chick, dude. I don't know that there's like a good bone in her body.
So much, and you've been doing an incredible job. The number of messages I've heard just complimenting you and your dignity and your poise and your strength has been overwhelming. And
Andrew, you have a wife, bro. Like, simmer down, dude. Like, maybe you should pump the brakes, bro. You're coming on a little hot and heavy. Charlie, we don't even know if he's buried yet. We don't know what happened to him when you're already just like googly eyeing Erica. Like, we just love you. We love you. You're the best. You're the best. Call me. I've been thinking about that hug on the tarmac. The way you hugged me, I could tell. You wanted it, huh? Yeah, me too. I know my wife was behind me, but I didn't care. I didn't care who saw. Our love cannot be withheld within the confines of marriage. Oh, that's something you've said with JT Massey. See, I've been following you for a long time. Andrew Kolvet's a groupie. She's attempting to use empathy instead of persuasion like Charlie did. Like manipulation. You're not saying that Charlie used like as a manipulation tactic? Hold on, help me explain explain that a little bit. God's warrior, urgent. Please warn Candace, debate is a hit piece. Wait, what do you mean? Can you write me? Can you email me? Or when you give that much on a super chat, it lets you write so much more, right? Doesn't it, you guys? Doesn't it let you write more if you give more? You should have wrote so much more. I want to know more. Email me. You believe that they are doing this to create more like tabloid hit pieces on her? I mean, they're going to do it either way. I think she runs the risk of, if she had not accepted the debate, she runs the risk of, to the world and to her fans, like she didn't really believe that she could defend her position. You know, I think her doing it is going to be great. Andrew cannot defend the positions. If you don't believe me, go back to yesterday's video, watch the first 57 minutes of where I destroy the evidence. I'm going to be debating, having a conversation, but kind of a debate. I just don't want it to be framed as a debate because I don't want people to act stupid with this podcaster. But we got to find, it's supposed to be Friday, but if they're debating, I don't know what time they're debating. I kind of had to postpone and go like, okay, we got to wait to find out when Andrew and Candace are doing it, because then we'll watch it live and I'll debate this guy, can have a conversation with this guy later. There's no way I'm better than Candace. And I know that I could hang totally on my own toe-to-toes with Andrew, with Gary, with any of them. Any piece of that. I know this case in and out, in my sleep, back and forth. I watched this guy that I'm going to debate. I'm not saying names right now, but debate basic, like just civilians, just like common people that don't really go in front of the camera. And so it's like, it's kind of hard your first time being on a mic, being on a show in front of a camera. Your brain, it takes a while to get used to this environment to where you don't notice everything. In the beginning, you're hyper aware that everyone's looking at you, and it kind of can mess you up, right? And so just because you did so good, or you thought you did so good against just average Joe, that's not me, buddy. Not going to do so good. Okay. The reason why I can say that confidently is because I know what the evidence is and what it isn't. And you can't point at one piece of evidence and prove to me that it is what it says it is. DNA, degradation on the rifle. How'd the rifle get there? Who found it? Chain of custody. Why isn't it on the Losi Center surveillance roof video? Screwdriver? How did that get there? Body camera footage, chain of custody issues. Lance Twiggs' DNA is on all the pieces of physical evidence except for the rifle. Oh, well. Tyler Robinson's DNA is the most degraded. All of the surveillance footage, the still and videos, actually, the more we get clear footage of it, looks like it actually is not Tyler. In the beginning, you wouldn't be able to discern that. You could just say, you can't not positively identify Tyler Robinson in any of those videos and photos. Now, as we're getting the non-compressed videos out, we can actually identify that is not Tyler Robinson. The confessions, any of them, prove to me they are what you say they are. You claim evidence, everyone on that side. You claim a mountain of evidence. Just give me one that's been corroborated, validated, verified, proven to be, actual confession, a written note. Show me. Oh, it was burned. Why does every piece of evidence have issues with it? How it was found, not able to be validated that it came from Tyler Robinson. None of his text messages sound like him. None of them are time-stamped. Metadata's missing. Oh, the Discord chat looks to be fabricated completely. Whoever wrote those different text messages between him and Lance Twiggs isn't a 20-something-year-old LDS college American man, boy. Never confessed to his parents. Show me. Didn't turn himself in and confess to authorities. Show me. Show me the footage of him entering the police station. Oh, the back of his head? Thanks. Show me his vehicle. Let me see his license plate. Why does the body kit not match? Why does his exhaust not match? Make sense of him being on campus and supposedly interacting with people at TPUSA, and we don't have that footage. How do we not have that footage on a campus like UVU that has like all of these connections to Intel and CIA and NSA? It's heavily surveilled. We don't see a receipt from him walking into the Sorensen Center Chick-fil-A, buying a, spicy chicken sandwich with crisp cut fries and an Oreo shake. We have no ticket, no receipt, no video of that. We don't even have eyewitness testimony of whoever interacted with him from TPUSA when he supposedly came on campus in the morning. Where's that? Why does his grandfather say that he doesn't think Tyler did it? Why does Lance Twiggs' parents and family think that he did do it? Why are there's all these issues with the autopsy? Why is there no exit wound? Why does it come in here at 9 degree, shoot up, hit the C2, crash down through the C2 to C7, and then disintegrate? But it also transects and obliterates, completely traumatically absent, that whole section of the spinal cord and vertebrae on the left side. Really? How come the round is not the right size? How come there's no exit wound and we don't have every single piece of fragment from inside of Charlie? How come 7 fragments were recovered, but only 4 were sent off? DNA? Why is Tyler Robinson's DNA the most degraded on the rifle? How come how they found the rifle is suspect? Chain of custody issues. How come the first 3 sweeps, police, bomb-sniffing dogs, FBI found nothing, and then the rookies found it? How come the initial photos are of this black composite modernized Mauser, but we've been told it's an authentic 1900 to 1945 wooden, original, hand-me-down, World War I to World War II era Mauser? How come we were told that the original reasons why that there was no exit wound was because it was possibly old ammunition and an old barrel? And then we find out, oh no, it got modernized. New buttstock, new barrel, new scope. It's basically a new gun. Modern ammunition as well. Still no exit. And I didn't even hit it all. That's just a taste. That's but a taste. Buckle up, baby. They always ask for the evidence, but the evidence gets dismissed as conspiracy theories because they won't investigate other possibilities. This is where Candace may come undone. Well, my approach is actually going to be to show me the evidence that you claim is evidence. Prove to me it's evidence. All these people ever do, Gary Melton, Andrew Wilson, and the like, they cite the prosecution's reference, conclusory statements of the evidence. Just because the state of Utah, SBI, and the prosecution say that it is evidence and that it points to Tyler, like we read in that document, and we can continue in a moment, it doesn't mean that it is. Yeah, okay, I can do the same thing. I can say all the stuff that Candace Owens has brought up is evidence. Prove it. Show me one piece that actually can point to Tyler. Give me one. You'll make a convert out of me if you can show me one clear video or photo of him. If you can give me one piece of physical evidence that doesn't have some sort of chain of custody issues or how it was tested and analyzed does not actually come to the right conclusion. The DNA is degraded. The ballistic base of the fragment doesn't match a 30-aught 30-06, a 308. Just give me one. Stop telling me the evidence exists. Show me one. That's what we've all said. We're all here in good faith that, like, if we could just see one piece of evidence that actually points to Tyler, you would be winning some of us over. But there isn't one. The prosecution played their best cards. Let me look it up. Watch. Watch. 1 second. Pretty sure it's a Brady violation. When the prosecution improperly withholds material evidence from the defense, it is commonly called a Brady violation. I know my stuff. After the U.S. Supreme Court case Brady versus Maryland in 1963, a Brady violation, prosecution suppresses evidence favorable to the accused that is material to guilt or punishment. Brady material, the favorable evidence that must be disclosed. The Giglio violation, a related violation involving undisclosed evidence that could impeach a government witness, such as benefits, promises, deals, credibility, problems, or prior inconsistent statements. Lance Twiggs, I think, has already committed Giglio violations. Okay. Received limited immunity, parents opened 2 LLCs, bought 2 houses, went on trips and vacations after the March filming of that Zoom interview. Discovery violation, broader term for failing to disclose evidence required under applicable discovery rules or a court order. Not every discovery violation is necessarily a constitutional Brady violation. For a true Brady violation, the Supreme Court genuinely requires 3 things. The evidence was favorable to the accused. Duh. It was suppressed by the state. Ding. And the suppression prejudiced the defendant because the evidence was material. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Yep. Brian Carter pondering. If the engraved rounds were found with the rifle, why were they not visible in the photos? Okay, so I'm going to read the rest of your statement. So this Mauser has a 5-round clip. All right, I'm pretty sure. So hold on. The Mauser 98 has an internal 5-round clip and single cartridge bolt action. Yes. So with one terminology correction, a Mauser 98, the Gewehr 98 type rifle, is a manually operated bolt action rifle with an internal 5-round clip magazine. So that's why. So supposedly he filled it up all the way. He loaded one in the chamber, fired it, did not expel the cartridge, the empty casing. It was still in the gun. Just the bullet jacket shot out and supposedly hit Charlie Kirk. So that means the remaining 4 unfired rounds and the 5th fired empty casing were in the rifle. The clip, you can't see it. It doesn't hang down. It's small. It's hidden by the part of the rifle where you put your front forward hand, okay? And so it's in there. So 4 rounds were in the clip. 1 empty casing was in the chamber. That's how they were able to have the casing. That one's engraved, and they matched it with the other 4 unfired casings that were engraved as well. That's also total BS. I mean, it was there, but that rifle was never on the roof. It never was on the roof of the Losi Center, guys. Thank you for that, Ashley. I'm not going to watch this for a long time. I just want to show you how gross this is.
Yeah, we're just so glad you're here.
No, I'm grateful. I mean, I know we talked about this. We prayed on it.
Oh.
We really tried to discern properly how to go about the next few stages and steps of everything. And we've been very intentional in.
So they prayed about it. They thought about it. They've been intentional. And this is what they came up with. Everything that's happened from then till now. Okay.
In a way that
Sure.
always keeps Charlie first.
Yeah.
And his dreams alive and his legacy going.
You want to know how unbelievable this is? This is the most disgusting thing in the world. This was filmed September 26th. 2 weeks, 2 days after the assassination. And this is how his wife is doing. Okay. A picture of her dead husband, but he's alive, right? Is right behind her. His name is everywhere. His empty chair, his old mic that was gifted to him by Glenn Beck or by, what's his name? The guy that he emulated and like grew up listening to. I forget his name. Not Glenn Beck, the other guy. He was a radio host. Do you guys remember who I'm talking about that Charlie used to listen to all the time growing up and he wanted to be like him? Rush Limbaugh. Thank you. Yeah. Don't forget second half of Prior Supermat. Oh, yeah. Okay. This one? Yeah, this one. Okay. Wait, no. By Brian or by Ashley? Okay, if the engraved rounds were found in the rifle, why were they not visible in the photos? They didn't expel them yet. They were still in the cartridge. The cartridge. Regarding the prior post meeting, Erica uses emotion to convince. Charlie used persuasion to convince. Thank you for explaining. I agree with that 100%. Did I also not finish this one? No, I finished that one. Okay, so this was the one I didn't finish, right? All right. Yeah, okay, thank you, Brian. Yes, thank you for reminding me. So the reason in the initial photos when they retrieved the rifle in the woods, that's supposedly before they like touch it, before it goes anywhere, the empty casing is still in the chamber, the bolt is still forward, and the clip is still in the gun. So that's why you don't see it. We don't see the rounds and the empty casing until the prelim through the ballistics forensic analysis report and photos.
And what's so beautiful is to see all of you step in and do that.
Oh, look at that smile. Man, she's happy. Holy smokes. You guys, if my wife is this happy 16 days after I'm murdered, you have my permission to investigate. You just do. That's freaking crazy. My wife would never do that. That's the other reason why I'm confident to say that. I believe that if something were to happen to me, my whole wife's family would be out here with her and my kids. And it would be devastating. Just like it would be devastating for me if I lost her. There's no freaking way I'm getting on here 16 days after, smiling, happy, excited. Why have the multiple drones flying around UVU been dismissed by everyone? What do you mean? Why have the multiple drones flying around UVU been dismissed by everyone? Oh, I don't know. I don't know why people are so opposed to drones. There's lots of drones. Like I could just even show you one right now that somebody was telling me didn't exist. I'll have to put it on 0.25 speed, and then I have to go really slow. So it's going to be the Adam Bartholomew Life is Driving video to the full one. It's going to be here. I got to mute it. I got to get past the gunshot, though. So hold on. Give me a second. I'm trying to get it pulled up right where I need it. And then I'll show you guys. Hold on. It's just taking me a second because I got to. Actually, this isn't even it. I don't think this is the right one. So playback speed 0, 0, da, 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 da. So I don't think he zooms in. Oh, there's one. Yep. All right. So let me share this tab. Oh, let me back out. Hold on. I'll have to go like this so you guys can see it better. Take that off. Boom. All right, so right here, so I can like back up a little. What you'll see, it's in like the slowest mode possible. And you're gonna see, and this is just one that I found like immediately, but hold on, I'll pause it right when I see it. It's gonna go really slow, but just give me a second as people disperse. Hold up. And if you guys see another one pointed out to me, there was one. It just flashed right there. Hold on. There it is. So there's a drone. Okay. And I have a better photo of one too. Okay. That's not a bug. It's not close. It's farther away. You see it flying away? And that's just one. There's like so many others that I had found. I have to remember if it's this video, if it's actually it's another video that's like down on the ground, and there's a drone that comes this way over where the UVU is filming, and then it flies up and goes that way. Let me go back here though. But I think it's possibly the reason why people are opposed to it. I don't think that a drone shot Charlie with a round. I don't hold to that theory. Brian Harple lied about there being drones. Mikey McCoy had drones. He was approved. He's the media team. The cease and desist letter to Wolves in Finance, the lawyers admitted it. The lawyers for TPUSA admitted that the media team was approved to use drones that day and had them there. Frank Turek said he was looking at drones. Mikey was in the car with Frank Turek and Charlie as they're arriving. He'd be the person to have the drones on his phone. The drone footage. We also see Mikey looking at drone footage on his phone. That's some recent stuff that just came out. Thank you for that. Do you think the whole goal is not for Andrew to win, but to trap Candace Owens on the record to sue her? They trapped Alex Jones with Megyn Kelly interview. Oh, so I need to go back and watch that because I wasn't following Alex Jones during that whole thing. I don't know how he got trapped and how he ended up getting losing everything. You're saying Megyn Kelly trapped him? Megyn Kelly is responsible for ruining. He's a big boy, like literally and metaphorically. I mean, maybe he should have watched what he was saying. He's been in, showbiz forever. So, all right, let me see. I'm going to get rid of some of these things. I'm going to see how far along we are right now. Don't forget how evil all these people are, right? So let's this is on September 18th. So 8 days after. All right.
Sons, he was like my fourth son. My three sons are a little bit older than Charlie. He was like my fourth son.
You're such a liar.
So when he was hit, if your son got hit, what would you do? What would you do? I got in the car. Because
no tears. Crocodile tears.
There was any way I could save him. I had to do something.
You got in the car, you got in the back and did nothing. You said, I mean, praying is doing something, but we don't know that you actually were praying. Then you lie and say you did CPR.
No, I couldn't just take him. You guys got it. So they got him into the side of the car. It was an SUV. It was the SUV.
Yeah, we know what it was, Frank. We know what it was. All right, let me see if you guys want me to read some more of the Bindover report. All right, let me take these evil people off of the queue. Let's see. So this is where I was reading the Hall of Flags. So Officer Bagley of the UVU Police was stationed on the south end of the walkway roof of the Hall of Flags above Mr. Kirk's canopy. Based on his experience with firearms, Bagley believed that the bullet came from a rifle fired from a position east of Kirk's canopy. Recognizing that, one, the Losi Center building was east of the amphitheater, and two, someone on the roof of that building would have a direct line of sight to where Mr. Kirk had been seated. Officer Bagley doesn't testify to that. He doesn't put that on the stand. Officer Bagley quickly made his way to the roof. No, he didn't. He dilly-dallied for 26 minutes. He doesn't make it up there till 27 minutes. There, he observed a screwdriver about 10 or 15 feet from the guardrail. His body camera just miraculously died after being fully charged and only being on for 27 minutes. Just turned off. He doesn't know, though. Even though it does, the Axon body camera has haptic vibration, a loud beep. Dang, I'm not used to this flag yet. A loud beep and a big blinking red light. He would have known if it was about to die. It warns you ahead of time. Line of sight where Charlie Kirk was seated. Officer Bagley made his way to the roof. Okay, we got the screwdriver by the guardrail. He also observed disturbances in the gravel, yet we didn't see that in any of the footage. At the southeast edge of the roof, that were consistent with a sniper pad, meaning a place where a person was laying in the prone position with a line of sight to where Mr. Kirk had been seated. This is all just circumstantial BS, you guys. Officer Bagley reviewed surveillance video of the Losi Center building rooftop. That video shows a male running. We don't know that it's a male. You cannot tell that that's a male. You are liars. You want to know if they're willing to lie? Right there. Right there. Watch. Let's prove it. Prove it. Tell me that you can see anything on this footage. All right. Which one is the most clear? Let's go here. Okay. And obviously, I don't need to play the first half as well. This is equally as, it's basically the same. It's just the latter half of it. Okay. Look at him running. There's his feet. You can tell that's a dude? You can tell that's a dude? You can tell that's a dude? Are they willing to lie on this document? Yes. They're only talking about the Losi Center rooftop surveillance video. Officer Bagley reviewed the surveillance video of the Losi Center building rooftop. That video shows a male. They're not talking about the other footage from inside the parking structure, him walking under the tunnel, going down the stairs, going up the stairs. That's not what they're talking about. Those ones, you have a better chance of identifying a male or, that it's a male suspect. Still not that it's Tyler, but at least you can identify better that it's a male. This one, you can't. This one, they lie. Are they willing to lie on a report? James May, this guy on X, goes, they would never lie on an official document. There it is, James. Maybe a little lie, but they're lying nonetheless. You cannot identify the sex or whatever you want to say, gender, whatever, of that dude, of that chick on the roof. You're making assumptions. You're taking leaps. You're going to have to say by the way the person runs, by the way the person walks, what kind of clothes they're wearing, how they behave, their ability to not fall over when they jump off. Bet you I could find a CrossFit chick that could do all of that. Have you not seen the girls, the female, compete in the CrossFit games? They're stronger and more athletic than most all men. So a woman could most certainly do it. So are they willing to lie on the report? Yes, they are. They did it right there. Running towards the southwest edge of the roof, then dropping down, crawling, and getting into the prone position at the edge of the roof. The video further shows that at approximately 12:23 and 28 seconds, the moment of the gunshot, that individual quickly stood up, ran northeast across the roof, carrying a long, skinny black object. No, we just looked at that, you freaking liar. Are they willing to lie again? Where's this long, skinny black object, ladies and gentlemen? Where is it? Where is it? Doesn't exist. Nothing. Where's this long, skinny black object? Where is it? I see a towel, a blanket, a tarp, a jacket. Wow, this white car's hauling butt. I wonder what he's doing. What is he doing? Huh. Liars. Let's see. Towards the southeast edge of the roof, dropping them down and crawling, getting in the prone position. Oh, I read that. The moment the gunshot individual runs, jumps off, ran to the northeast cross aside. Oh, carrying a long, skinny black object, and eventually dropped himself down from the northeast side of the roof to the ground. How many pages is this? Hold on, let me see. Wait, what page am I on? Investigators received hundreds of hours of surveillance video to track forwards and backwards the person that was seen on the Losi Center roof. How come we didn't see hundreds of hours? What a lie. So page 3, that's what page I'm on. Hold on, let me make this so you guys don't get dizzy. Hold on, I'm trying to see how many pages this thing is altogether. Sorry. I'm like dying. My throat is killing me. I already drank my hot tea. Holy smokes. Let's see if there's a way for me to... I'm going to download this. Pull it up. Got it. Desktop save. Okay. Now I'm going to go here. Let me pull this up and ask it to summarize it. Sorry, guys. I'm not trying to. All right. Let me. Here, I told this summarize. Yeah, I read the prosecution's July 28, 2026 memorandum in support of the preliminary hearing. Hearing bind over. Yeah. Holy smokes. Let's get to the bottom line. Bottom line, the memorandum's argument can basically be reduced to this: admissions plus surveillance plus DNA / contact evidence plus recovered Mauser plus ammunition casing evidence plus alleged concealment plus alleged instructions to Twiggs equals enough probable cause to send every charge to trial. The prosecution closes by asking the court to bind Robinson over for trial on every count charged. Given what you've been examining tonight, the firearms section is worth separating from the rest of the memorandum very carefully. The state's own wording distinguishes 30 caliber class fatal projectile from 30-06 Springfield recovered rifle. The next document I'd scrutinize would be the state's Exhibit 32, because that's the ATF's examination. What is this? More helpful results from plugins. Okay. Let's see. Sources. Oh, that's okay. Yes. Do that. And then I'll come back. Exit. All right. I think I'm to the part where I need to give my voice a break. I'm like struggling, and I have, hold on. I think something else came in at the bottom. Brian Carter. How come the video we did see was not high enough quality to prove anything? If there is hundreds of hours and this is the best they have to offer, I'd say they're in trouble. Yes. Yep. 100%. That's my argument, is they claim that there's even more evidence that they haven't shown. You're going to risk not going to trial? You're going to risk not meeting probable cause, saving some sort of evidence for trial, but not for the prelim? You can't disclose the evidence to the defense. You have Giglio issues with Lance Twiggs, Giglio violations. You have Brady violations, withholding evidence. That's material evidence to the defense. We've seen all evidence that points to Tyler Robinson, that they've been able to say points to Tyler Robinson. Everything else is worse than what they've shown. Don't let them lie to you. Anyone on the other side saying, oh, there's more coming. No, there's not. No, there's not. The law requires that there's not. Not to mention, in the first day of the preliminary hearing, the prosecution gets up and says, we've given over 100% of the evidence in our possession on the first day, or by June 18th, which was leading up to the prelim. They said by the end of the prelim, we will have given over everything in totality. They'll have everything by the end. There's nothing left. There's nothing left. I've read all the documents. I've seen all the days of the hearings. There's nothing else, guys. This is the case against Tyler Robinson. Don't let him lie to you. I found this, you guys. Charlie Kirk. Wait, is this Jack Hibbs's church? Hold on. Oh. Oh my gosh, you guys, they are losing subscribers. He used to be at 6.4 million. He's at 5.85 million subscribers. Because people realize that he's not running his social media platforms anymore. So that's what's sad.
Lots to cover today. Thank you, Tommy. After a greeting like that, I'm good. I could just, by the way, how was that debate this last week? That was something. I thought Biden did great. I thought he was just, all right, that's all I'm going to say about that. All the rest speaks for itself, as you would say, right? You're all smart people. You can see what I see. We need God, right? Oh my goodness. All right, so this is a big week, and I was texting with Pastor Luke a couple months ago, and I said, hey, I felt bad last year. I was supposed to actually give this speech last July 4th weekend, last Independence Day weekend, and I said, I want to kind of come back and if I can on Independence Day weekend. He said, absolutely, and this is a very profound time in our country's history, and it makes sense for us to take a pause and get back to our roots and the foundational elements of who we are as a country. And what we are going to do today is we are going to read our country's birth certificate, the Declaration of Independence. We are going to read our birth certificate, and then I'm going to show you the scripture that our founders believed when they put it into our birth certificate. And then we're going to talk about some other parts of the Word of God that speak to this. Now, it's important to understand the context before we get into the Declaration of Independence and what led to this. That was really written on July 1st or July 2nd. It was finally published on July 4th. John Adams, who had a lot of sway, they were in a big room. Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson.
God's Warrior, I just got your email. I'm going to do everything I can to... I can get that to someone that could get that to Candace. Okay. I don't know. God's Warrior, are you still here? In fact, I think I'm going to do it like right now. Hold up. Actually, I'll hit play. But God's Warrior, if you're still here, can you chime in?
Madison, they said, so who's going to write this complaint
hold on, sorry.
to King George? And John Adams said, that Thomas Jefferson guy, he's a good writer. Now, he wrote a bunch of pamphlets and he wrote a bunch of booklets. He was a very gifted young man. He was in his late 20s when he wrote this, to give you some idea. In his late 20s when he wrote this. And understand the first and foremost audience. This was a letter to the King of England, King George. The most powerful man on the planet, the most powerful person that was able, with a snap of a finger, invade a country. They said the sun never sets on the British Empire. He is as powerful as it gets. The known world was controlled by this guy. And this was a telegram, a message, if you will, that took months to get to him eventually, because he had to cross the sea, and declaring independence from King George. Now, in order to do this, you had to have a very, very good reason. So they appoint Thomas Jefferson. They say, hey, cook up some ideas here. And our birth certificate, this letter to King George, is one of the most beautiful documents written in human history. If we look at history and we say important moments and important events, obviously Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1:26 and 1:27, and human beings are made in his image. The Exodus story, which we'll talk about today. Maybe Moses on Mount Sinai when he gets the 10 Commandments, the incarnation when Jesus Christ took flesh, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. I believe that July 4th, 1776 was the most important moment in human history after the resurrection of Jesus Christ. That's how important July 4th, 1776 is. Now, why is that? It's because it took the truths of the scriptures, what it says about what a human being is, what freedom is, what liberty is, how government should operate it. It took all those truths and put them into practice. You see, before July 4th, 1776, there was not a single example of government that made the arguments that was in this document. And so in the birth certificate, Thomas Jefferson writes, When in the course of human events, let's stop right there. That is an eternal message. That isn't just saying, hey, things aren't so great here. Thomas Jefferson and the founders are starting as broad as one can possibly start. Basically saying what we are about to write will be applicable in 1876, 1976, and 2024. That what we are about to write is always going to be true. This is talking about a never-ending truth claim, and only the Bible speaks to such truths. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary. That's so important. Not that it's a good idea, not that maybe you should, but necessary. What Thomas Jefferson is saying is that you as a human being have a necessary need to live in freedom and not in slavery, to live in a state of self-government, not under a tyrant, a king, or a pharaoh, which we'll get to soon. It becomes necessary for one person to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them. Let me go back. Dissolve the political bands which would connect them with another. Who wants to see some dissolving of political bands right now? I think that's a good idea. Just as true today as it was in 1776, but the laws of nature and nature's God. He didn't say the laws of nature and nature's science. He didn't say the laws of nature or reason. He didn't say the laws of nature and
all right, I just sent it. I don't know. Is God's Warrior still in here? Turn it up. But you can't hear it? It's loud. It's super loud. Are you guys liking this of Charlie? Okay, cool. All right.
Anthony Fauci. You see, there are two things that every single founding father believed. There is a God, and we are not him. There is a God, and we are not him. Now you might say, well, that's rather obvious. How many of our current elected leaders in Washington, D.C. believe that there is a God, and we are not him? If you can pass those two tests, we have a lot more in common than not in common. In fact, I believe the divide in America is between those of us that believe there is a God and we are not him, and those who do not believe that there is a God and that they are him. In fact, if you believe that there is a God and you are not him, you all of a sudden do not believe in the insanity that men can give birth. You don't try to...
Trump believes he's God. Bibi believes he's God. Or he at least believes he's above God or outside of God. Or that there is no God. Oh, this is 30 minutes, you guys. I'll play for another like 4 minutes and then I got to get ready to go to bed. I need to get sleep and I probably need to take tomorrow off. I'm like sneezing a lot. I'm on my like 13th piece of cough drop. Two things of tea with honey and lemon and anything else my wife gave me. Yeah. All right. I'll let it continue.
Turn human beings in this transhumanist project. You don't try to experiment on us. Instead, you have the humility that there is a God and Jesus is on his throne.
Yes.
You see, the laws of nature and nature's God. What Thomas Jefferson and the founders are saying is, hey, King George, you're actually not in charge. Oh, and it gets even more provocative. You see, you understand, prior to this, no one had ever challenged the King of England. Sure, us Scots are always, rebelling against rebellious tyrants, but we weren't that eloquent. We had William Wallace screaming to the sky. Like, this was a thoughtful, deep, theological, and philosophical rebuke of monarchy. You understand that before Thomas Jefferson and the founders wrote this, inspired by the scriptures, based on the scriptures, there was always one commonality of government. Every single government, one form or fashion, with the exception of maybe Athenian democracy.
I'm going to save this, you guys, and we'll continue to watch a little bit of it at the end of each show until we watch the whole thing. I really like this version, this clip of Charlie. I found it today and I really liked it. So I got through all the super chats. If you guys haven't done so already, can you do me a favor and hit the like? Okay. Also, hit the subscribe. All right. Hit the like and then hit the subscribe. All right. It's the best way to support the channel. It's free. You can also write a comment, throw an emoji, and then hype the video for free. Those are free ways to help support the channel. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. Some people ask for other ways to support the channel. You can do it through buymeacoffee.com, okay? Or you could do it through the Venmo Blackline Brief account, all right? All right, you guys. All right, keep me in your prayers that I recover. I need to be ready for Stu Peters and Matt on Thursday, and then for Andrew and Candace and a potential debate with someone else on Friday. So keep me in your prayers. I'm going to rest, relax. I probably won't do a show tomorrow. I need to catch up. When I went to California and we flew back, we got home at like 1:30, and then I wanted to set up the studio again because I took a lot of the stuff with me to set up in the hotel room. I didn't like fall asleep till like 6 a.m. that night, and then like woke up at like 8. I'm so far behind on sleep in the last few weeks, so I think that has a lot to do with it. And yeah, so all right, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Let Charlie roll. Keep it playing, please. I gotta sign off. I can't just keep it playing and leave the show going. We're gonna continue to always like a double match stream. Okay. Yeah. Me too. We'll finish this video a little bit each night over the next few nights. Okay. I have it saved. It's not going anywhere. We'll finish it together. All right. All right, you guys. Love you guys. God bless you guys. Have a great night. I'll see you guys Thursday. Bye.